Guys, after a spectacular session of watching Vishy Anand play at the Superbet chess, we are here with Pragnananda facing the world champion Magnus Carlsen. Can it get better? And I have my partner in crime, the one and only Amruta Mokal, joining in. Amruta,
Yes.
Magnus versus Pragg. Pragg versus Magnus, this rivalry, which is building up, and we are following every single game of it, is very intense. You can see, by the way, Pragg opens with e4 this time.
Today is white.
Yes, he is white.
And he has only one game, not like last time when he had 4 games.
Yes.
It was a match.
Yes, exactly. Knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, a6. This is known as the Italian, right?
Yeah. No.
By the way, Magnus's camera is flickering a bit, guys. I don't know why. I think it's an issue from their end, not our end.
Maybe we're gonna have a full screen for him. Maybe just try it out.
I don't know. Maybe just try to put it up again. Okay, bishop b5, a6, bishop a4, knight f6.
Oh, what's this issue? Oh god.
Oh yeah, it's
But maybe we can go to a middle game until the live position.
right.
And then
Bishop
we can
c5 played by Magnus. This is known as the
Second
arcangles.
says it's an issue on Magnus's side.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Bishop b3, Magnus flickering a bit. Maybe his confidence as well, or what?
it's Pragnananda's effect, maybe.
Bishop g5, bishop h4 by Pragg, bishop b6 now, a4 played, rook b8, and now ab takes here, ab, Pragg goes knight a3, attacking the b5 pawn, Amruta.
Yeah, if you go b4, you get the c4 square. So
Yeah, so g5,
Bishop
Bishop
is
G3.
really going for a very aggressive setup.
knight a5. And Magnus, Amruta, he did this kind of a phase where he was like, I'm not so sure about what I'm doing here, but I think it is interesting at the very least, because now he is attacking this bishop and Pragg does not want to give it up. Like, for example, if Pragg takes the b5 pawn, then after knight b3, queen b3, this is a pin. And
Aren't you already losing like c6?
yeah, c6 might be a dangerous, because when the knight moves bishop f2 and you lose the queen.
Got it.
So
that doesn't work. Okay, let's go back. to the
so
main
knight
game.
a5 and Pragg is, the moves have happened actually. One second.
I think Pragg will play h4, right? With the structure on h6 and
No,
g5.
what did
Will he
Pragg
not?
do? Pragg do is Pragg went bishop c2. Magnus gave a pawn. Wow. Pragg took it. Magnus went back. Amruta. Bishop a4 pinning. Pragg is better.
Clearly, isn't
Bishop
it
d7,
just
only
pawn up?
move.
You can also play b5 in future to save the pawn. I think white is better.
Yeah. But now Pragg could have taken on c6 and said that he will protect this, but he goes knight c4. And I think this gives Magnus a chance to take back the b4 pawn.
So let me understand when you said he could have taken bishop c6, because I don't feel like, even considering giving up such a nice bishop here.
Yeah.
So when you say bishop c6, how do you want to continue? Do you want to play b5 here?
I'm just
Do
being
you want to
greedy.
just hold? Do you want to castle?
I'm just saying I'm a pawn up. Castle, yeah.
You want to castle. Oops, sorry. And then black has to try to put some pressure here. Can you do that?
Yeah, maybe g4.
Maybe g4.
G4, knight h4.
And then bishop d4, so that I attack this.
Yes,
and
but then there is knight c2 attacking the bishop.
But then I take,
Rook b1.
then I go here bishop c3. Like,
No, just losing, Amruta. Like knight f5.
so you are saying this is advantage even if you have given up the pawn, because
it's
black's king
yeah.
is weak.
It's just
and
over.
it's not about being a pawn up. If you see materially, you are equal. In fact,
Game
black
over.
has double bishop.
because bishop h4 is coming, and there will be that unbelievable pin there.
Yeah. Oh, nice. So what did Pragnanda play? He played knight c4 here.
Yeah, he played knight c4, but yeah, as we said, he should have, and Magnus takes on b4. Also, guys, the other games that are going on
1 second,
are
like moves are happening.
yes,
here.
yes, yes,
I don't want to miss that. Bishop d7, knight d7, and castle.
yes, Amruta.
What? Why are you laughing? They're playing fast, so I just think that we should stick to this game. What I want to say is Magnus's king is weak.
Yeah.
Can Pragnanda get a very good attacking possibility?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, what do you want to do as black comes the question. Like, will Magnus castle here? Because he has shown that on occasions where even when his king side is a bit weak, he has gone for that idea.
He can't keep the king in the center, or can he? No.
Yeah, it can be dangerous with even the d4 breaks in the air.
So he has to castle, which means that you have some weaknesses there.
Or he can go knight c6 with the idea of coming to d4.
Yeah, because if you stop white's d4, then the center is pretty closed in that sense. And the king actually is fine, and black could think of these ideas.
Oh, he
but
castles.
no, he has
He
castles.
castles,
I think,
world champion for a reason.
he is going to get in some danger.
Okay.
Yes.
Amruta very confident. But Amruta, I
Yeah.
think the natural way to take advantage of that is h4.
h4.
Yeah. That is one very natural way of going about it.
Okay. You want to check some other games as well?
Yes,
I know
Vidit
that,
is
but
playing
very-
against Eric Hansen, and Eric last time beat Vidit, I think, when he played against him in this last Champions Chess Tour. And today also Vidit is under some pressure. It's around equal, but this knight on f5 is beautifully positioned. So Vidit has to be careful here against Eric.
But he has a rook on e6, which can nicely, swing on to g6 for the defense.
So he was king h7. Okay, let's also look at what Hari Krishna is doing. Hari Krishna is playing against Nils Grandel, yes, Amruta?
Yeah.
The top player from Sweden. And Hari Krishna slightly worse here out of the opening.
Yeah, double bishop.
Because black has, yes, exactly.
And white is yet to develop. He has to castle. Okay, so this is the update. We got it. What about Anish?
Anish Giri is playing David Anton.
Hamza says, Sagar bhai, your videos don't appear on YouTube homepage. Any suggestions? Yes, the suggestion is right to YouTube. Why this is...
or you can there is
Go to
this
Champions
button, no, personalize, and there's this bell icon, and you click on that and click on all, then generally you will get all the updates.
Yeah. Okay. Show me Anish's position.
Yeah, Anish is slightly worse against David Anton here, because David might go e5 and he has space. But okay, Anish might go knight e4 there. So it's not so
So
simple.
it's a complicated position
you
here
have,
still.
you have to find a move like queen b1, take, and now you can't take queen takes c3 because of bishop a3 attacking here, and b7 is hanging, so that way.
Okay. So let's go to Magnus again and Pragnanda, because some things have happened there.
Okay, look at this. What has happened is, after castles, Amruta, every time Pragg has overextended himself against Magnus and then kind of regretted it. So I think today he's trying to be a little bit more calm. So he takes on b6, rook b6, and plays d4, which is kind of a solid way to play, but this is not how you would beat Magnus. I think
What
now,
if you're able to beat Magnus in a calm se calm rakho way? Calm se calm. समझ गए? Calm se calm.
okay. Let's see, but I think you see how Magnus thinks in such positions. Yeah, knight c6, good move by the world champion. He is defending his center with both his knights and also telling Pragnananda that don't forget that your b2 pawn is weak.
But what if I play d5 here? Where are you going again?
This is, I think, exactly what Magnus wants. Because
Why
after
is
knight
this a
e7,
bad move? Queen, I thought of queen d2
now
or
this is
something.
weak. So
Yeah,
if you go
queen c1 or
queen
queen
d2, now I can even put more pressure on b2.
Rook fb1.
Rook fb1, and then maybe just knight g6.
My idea is something like h4 and you see that h6 and g5 structure feels a little bit flickering to me.
Yeah. Flickering is the word today.
Yeah.
Abhinav Ram says, is there a way to play h4 and attack? I think it is on the cards, but somehow Pragnananda didn't go for it. He could have done it even here. He could have played h4, but he preferred playing centrally. But I think Amruta d5 is a bit too much, because once you close the center down, then this weaknesses become easier to handle, and then b2 pawn starts to get weak.
It's important.
Yeah.
If not d5, is it the right time for h4? No, I'll lose a pawn directly after g4. So maybe what?
Not sure.
Simply queen d2.
Yeah, maybe. Because g4 this would hang with the queen.
So not sure. You're right.
But I think already Pragg's next move is not so simple. What to play?
Candidate moves, guys. What would you play as Pragg? First of all, that's a question to you. I'm considering queen d2.
Or I think Pragg will go d.
Really want to release that tension?
What he would do is he would. Oh, by the way, here knight d4, knight f5 is strong. So of course,
nice.
not
d5 is forced.
No, take with the other knight, controlling this square. And then let's say I take knight e5. Then d, and I think this bishop is unhappy.
Yeah,
so you can take with
take.
the bishop. But then after d5, once again, black is the one who's doing pretty okay, like very well here. By the way, everyone in the chat is saying it's Pragg, not Pragg, Amruta.
Yeah. It's not everyone, only one person and you. 1 + 1.
Okay.
So the suggestions are rook c1, queen d2, d5. Mithilesh Naik has asked h4, g4, knight h2, h5.
Yes, possible. But Mithilesh, what about this pawn here?
And Aditya says f5 for black.
No.
But it's white to move. f5 would be crazy.
I mean, if he plays d5, then yes, you can go f5. But without it, if you play f5, your central structure is a bit too loose. By the way, rook c1, best move in the position, played by Pragg.
Wow, really? So rook b2 is right now stopped because of rook c6.
Yes.
And black goes, let's say, queen b8.
Ah.
Continuing with your idea of putting pressure on b2.
But Amruta, you're not threatening this, because this is always hanging. So I can go now h4.
Now g4. Whenever you play h4, anyway, I have h5, right? After knight h2.
And by the way, I want to ask the chat the move here. Guys, try to figure out what should white do here. Very nice move. Here, tactically, it's working. Very tactically. Yes, Chinmay Kelaskar, slightly scatty. And also being brilliant at chess. Very good. Amruta, look at this. 95.
Yeah, nice.
Because if he takes with the piece, you can take back.
Okay.
And if he takes with the pawn, you see the benefit here that I can take, and your knight is hanging with a check.
LPDO.
Loose pieces drop off. Yeah, absolutely. So rook c1, I think Magnus under some pressure, Pragg playing well. You can see how he's matching move for move. And let's see if today, if he can hold it until the end. What about the game of Vidit, Amruta?
Sure. Yeah, he has defended. I mean, he's defending.
Yeah, nice position actually for black. Also, white doing pretty okay. But I think Vidit has good scope here. Like d4, bishop can go here. Later on, he can try for c5 break. So
yeah, it's quite a complicated position still. Lot of ideas.
Yeah.
Also, the b4 pawn, if that falls, then a5 is gone. So Okay, he's gone bishop g7.
He's gone bishop g7, and meanwhile also Hari Krishna in a
His
very
king
difficult
is
situation.
still in the center.
Because Amruta, now he wants to castle, but I think his opponent will not allow it. He will go something like a5 and keep the pressure rolling in the position. So going back to Magnus versus Pragg.
Guys, Magnus's move. That means your moves, your suggestions. What are you going to play? Anybody had suggested rook c1, by the way, earlier? Let me just have a
We didn't
look.
ask only. Amruta.
I asked what should Pragnanda play.
Acha.
Yeah, Story Stackers had suggested rook c1, Gary.
Who?
Story Stackers.
No, who's Gary?
No, Story Stackers.
What? Who is this? By the way,
In the last Vidit's game, Being Brilliant at Chess had asked a question. What happened?
by the way, knight takes d4 has happened in the position. Magnus took, Pragg took back, took here, queen takes d4, and now Magnus could have played queen f6, which is a solid move. Also possible was c5, but he goes for knight to c5.
तो इतने मूव्स हुए तो अपन क्या इडियट जैसे बैठे थे क्या?
नहीं, they made these moves quickly.
Okay.
Vidit ki yadein. Everyone actually Vidit has stopped using it, but I have started using it now. But you know, Amruta, here there is a possibility of a very nice exchange sacrifice, which Pragg might go for.
c5.
Yeah, take.
But is it worth? Is it worth?
No, it's just like a simplifying thing. Take, and now this way.
मतलब it's like offering a draw. If he goes rook c5, it's a draw, no? Rook endgame.
Not a draw.
Rook b1 c4.
Yeah, maybe draw.
King f1. नहीं, c3 का pawn मर जाएगा ना? c2. ठीक है. Yeah, this is a draw. This is a draw.
Okay, Pragg can push a bit 4 versus 3. But I think Pragg will not go for rook c5. It's kind of drawish there. He will want to fight. Also, another natural move, Amruta, is e5, but there is this knight b3 business. There's a fork here.
So you're saying e5, knight
So,
b3.
Amruta,
Lost है ना? कुछ भी तो नहीं हो रहा है ना?
I feel this is a key moment to judge if Pragg is ambitious or not. And does he not fear Magnus, but does he respect Magnus or not? Because if he doesn't respect Magnus, he might play a move like rook c e1 so that he can continue the fight later with f4. But a very respectful move is this one. And then, I mean, of course, you know that you can't beat Magnus in such an endgame. It will be a draw. Oh, and you see, no respect, Amruta.
Oh, wow.
No respect. And look at Magnus. He's like, what is Pragg doing?
Nice. There is a fighter for us.
Yeah.
Amazing, Pragg.
Of course. He wants to fight on.
And that already puts some pressure, even if not in the game, but
Psychologically.
Psychologically.
For sure.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna fight.
People were saying b4, but guys, b4 would not have stopped the fork, right, with knight b3. So that is what Pragg has prevented with rook d1.
Being Brilliant at Chess has asked, how about rook c3? But for rook c3, rook b2 is not a problem. No, rook c5 is there, sorry.
Yeah, it's an interesting move, but first knight e6. And then maybe I put pressure here. So I think rook d1.
So with rook d1 also right now black can play knight e6.
Yeah, Magnus did play knight e6.
Okay.
And
Where
Pragg
do you take
went
your queen?
Queen c3. Now he is looking at e5 ideas here.
Just looking at the position, if you don't have the bar, Sagar, I would say that, black's king is weak.
Yeah.
f4 or h4 break is going to happen.
Yeah.
I have a bishop.
Yeah.
And the position is not like closed.
Yeah.
So overall, it's definitely white whom I will prefer.
Yeah.
Also the space and queen what to say, activity and coordination.
Right.
Everything seems good for white. Why the hell is this bar saying it's not even better for white? Why the hell?
It's I think it has more to do with the fact that bar
It doesn't understand emotions.
no, black is going. Yeah, agree. It doesn't have this feeling that the king is weak because it understands that there is no real attacking prospects. But as humans, I completely agree with you that I kind of slightly prefer white here with that weakened king. But also because Magnus is playing black, we all think Magnus will definitely find all those accurate defensive moves as well.
Right. I mean, the bar's level is lower than Magnus, so Magnus should
No.
be. Sorry, the bar's level is higher than
Yeah.
higher than Magnus.
Yeah, sure.
ठीक है.
Any engine is stronger than the world champion these days, you know, like. Okay, Anish under some space crunch there. Also with it under some pressure by his opponent. It's a very interesting game. It's moving slowly along, but I think it will get explosive in a bit. Also, Hari Krishna is not managed to fight back. In fact, he's a pawn down. So he is worse. And look at Magnus's move, Amruta. F6, as you said.
Wow.
Magnus did get a bit worried.
Yeah.
And the bar has suddenly favored white. And your move is going to come into action. I think Pragg will play F4. But also, you know, he doesn't want to be careless. Because that is what has led him to lose some games.
Correct.
Against Magnus. So I think he might go B4, which
No,
is a little more careful.
I was also considering a move like Rook D5, Sagar. What do you think of it?
What?
Rook D5.
Yeah, that's a typical Pragg rook lift. But what's your idea? You want to go to F5?
No, I'm controlling F5 exactly. At any point of time, H4 bhi aayega. Rook.
I was thinking
Rook
if
just-
C5 is possible there, like Rook D5, C5. Ooh,
Oh,
not
sorry.
C6, C5. So that the rook. No, I want to
Very bad.
I want
Because
to
you have
put my-
given
no,
me
no, I want to put
backward
my
pawn
knight on D4.
forever.
I want to put my knight on D4. That was the point.
But anyway, I'll break, na? Right now or no?
Or maybe you go Queen D3. And if I go Knight D4, which is
Let's ask the chat.
yeah, it's not so difficult, guys. White to play. E5,
Yeah,
yes.
Aniket, Chess Codes, Shaibi Binoj, Jay Agrawat, Mahish Essay, slightly scatty. You guys are right. E5, and there are all these weaknesses. Queen G6. That's gonna be awesome. So F6 ko Rook D5 is a move certainly Pragnanda will consider because that's his, to his liking.
But he won't
Another-
rook lift today.
Okay. So B4 you're saying what B4
B4
what
or
does
F4?
it do? Like, because my question is,
Just stops C5, also Knight C5.
why does it stop C5?
No, I mean, it's just a good move, gaining space.
But what if I go C5? Actually, it's a good question. What are you planning for C5?
B takes C5?
Knight C5?
Yeah, but then this is
Oh.
weak, yeah.
No, he's not played, na? It is.
But look at Pragg's time, 2 minutes 24 seconds. Magnus has 2 minutes 58 seconds. Will Pragnananda go F4? He can also play H4, Amruta. He can also play B4. There are many possibilities here. Let's see what he chooses. But he has to take care of his time because they are still on move
Yeah.
number 26. They have
Guys,
many
in
moves to
5
play.
seconds, please write what do you think Pragnanda will play, or what would you play in this position? B4, Rook D5, F4 or H4? I think ये चार मूव में से ही प्रज्ञानंदा कुछ खेलेगा.
But Pragg taking so much time and Magnus there
F4
finding
and
time to
H4.
drink
People
something.
are F4 and H4.
Yeah, F4. I think F4, guys.
E5 अभी किसी ने suggest किया.
Oh, he
मैंने
plays
फिर
F4.
Oh, guys.
He goes
Oh my
for
god,
F4.
amazing.
Nice. After a lot of thought and
Magnus is under pressure.
no,
Look at
instantly
this.
plays Queen E7.
But he's under pressure.
He's putting pressure on Pragg on clock. He's like, look, I have 3 minutes. Pragg has 1 minute 42 seconds. But yeah, of course, b4, nice move. Pragg gaining space in the position.
Wow. And that knight, you can see it doesn't have enough squares. Its power is going. Battery charging is going.
Also, you don't want to move your rook away because then the f6 square becomes weak. So it's not so simple. How should Magnus continue here? Maybe he goes rook f7. That is one way to just keep your position.
Don, can you ask f5 now? But f5 would be committal. इतना जल्दी देना है commitment?
No, Amruta. f5, ef.
नहीं, white का f5.
Acha, oh, f5. No, I don't want to close it. I don't want to close. It's black to move, by the way.
Okay.
Because b4 was the last move. Let's see. This time Magnus is time to think.
चल सब कुछ मिल गया. You've got f4, you've got b4. Now what is your next move if it was white to play?
Well, I want Magnus to first play because I have a threat. Like I want to take and maybe double down the f file possible. Put pressure on f6. So I mean it's not like I can also go for take and h4. Try to break that structure even further. So there are clear-cut plans.
But only
here.
for fg5 Sagar. Don't forget that knight will take on g5 and I'm going to put pressure on e4. So I'm not sure if you want to consider fg5 immediately.
Yeah.
Rook d5 is a move which is very, very close to my heart.
But first, let's see what Magnus chooses. He's down to 1 minute 26 seconds. He's gone lower on the clock than Pragnananda. Oh my God, is Magnus Carlsen going to be in trouble today?
Isn't he already?
He is in some trouble, but I think he will be able to at least handle this. It's a handleable trouble, Amruta.
What about c5 for black? Dhruv Kumar. Yeah, I think c5 ko maybe you to.
Wow, Magnus goes below a minute, Amruta. He's gone below a minute.
Look at Pragnananda's eyes. He is not even blinking. He's not even blinking.
He's very focused. Rook b8. This is Magnus's way of saying that okay, I need to get my troops together, kind of huddle them together. But I think Pragg can go queen c4.
No, but seriously, Sagar, look at Pragg's eyes. One for a moment, he is not blinking.
Yeah, he's fully focused.
It's like समय के साथ वो आँखों में देखना रहता था तो Pragnananda would have won. Wow, so focused. ठीक है. What did he suggest right now for white to play?
Yeah, maybe I don't know if h4 makes sense. h3. Maybe queen c4, just improving the position. I mean, is quite complicated for both sides having just a minute. So clearly you'll see mistakes happening from both sides because of the lack of time on the clock.
People are suggesting e5 move right now.
e5.
Yeah, white's move e5.
But
will it not simplify things? D e5.
No, what about taking here?
Oh, he played f5. So he has committed right now. The knight on e6 doesn't have a good square.
Yeah, he has to go to do d8 or g7.
d8 looks ugly. Maybe g7.
But g7, where's your future? Like h5?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if the knight can somehow magically sit on e5, black would be all right. But the knight is... but Amruta, knight d8, knight f7, knight e5. That's a plan.
Okay, so knight d8 for a while if you go. What about your c7? Rook d4.
I think Magnus has seen that. I mean, Pragg has seen that he can attack c pawn. So if knight f7, then rook c1, and then rook c4, and he's going to put pressure here.
Why rook c1?
Look, that has happened. That has happened. Knight f7, and I think he'll go either rook c1 or rook c4. Both moves are possible.
Nice.
Yeah, he goes rook c4. Now let's see what he goes. Rook d7 defends this.
Rook c1, rook c8.
I think
we are going to see for sure.
It's kind of forced.
Or rook c1.
Yeah. Now take here. You can
B8
play rook
also is
c8,
possible,
which
right?
is rook b8 is more active. And now
Can you go bishop e1, defend b4 with the idea of rook c7?
But
even rook c7 ko queen e4 is also a problem. So it's like I have a weakness, you have a weakness. b4 ko c7 hai, e4 and f6. They're corresponding.
I think Pragg has to now figure a way out. Moves like h3 come to mind, but with just 45 seconds, it's very difficult to make a move like h3. You want to do something here with the c7 pawn, with your e4 pawn, with your f6 pawn. You want to do something there. Let's see what Pragg comes up with. Meanwhile, Vidit Gujarati here in a lost position against Eric Hansen.
God.
But we'll come to that game later.
I think Pragnanda will play it patiently, slow, maybe h3 or maybe even h4. Yeah.
But Pragg is down to 10 seconds.
No, you have to play.
Pragg has to move.
You have to play.
Pragg has to move. Last 5 seconds. 4. Oh, is he going to lose a time?
3,
Is
2.
he right?
Is there a problem with the live here?
Yeah, there was a problem. Yes, 36 seconds. Go back from the dead.
God, thank God. h4 takes.
95. You see now Amruta, Magnus has started his fight back. And
I don't like the pawn structure on e4, f5, whatever you say. It's
yeah, that is
somehow
true.
A little bit.
But this is what Magnus does so well. He fights back. And now if rook c7, take, queen takes, rook takes.
You're forced to simplify, but in the end, f6 is also weak.
Yeah, should end in a draw. This should end in a draw. Rook b4. But I'm a little bit worried about knight g4. Like let's say if you take, then there's a check. King goes up anywhere. Knight g4 and you lose this pawn. Lose this bishop.
Nice trap.
So you can't take. Where does
So then maybe king h2. No,
Yeah.
e4 is hanging, na. But what do you do here?
rook
e7. Same thing if rook e4, bishop f6, there is a pin. You can't play knight g4. If rook e4, then there is bishop f6. That's nice. And if king f8 here,
maybe rook e6.
rook e7 is a nice move. I think it's a safe move.
I
Definitely
think guys this will end in a draw.
Definitely.
But what a fight, yeah, by Pragg.
Arka says, I stopped looking for a while like watching a horror movie.
Oh, d5. Nice move by Magnus. Because now if you take, then the bishop is hanging.
Pin.
King e7, king f1.
Getting out of all the meetings.
But now rook e4,
Bishop f6.
bishop f6, rook f4. Take
Chalega.
here, but e5 would hang. Yeah. So yeah, this is going to end in a draw, Amruta. But I think it could have ended in a draw like few moves ago when Pragg had a chance here to take on c5 and play this, but he actually opted to go for this full-fledged fight.
Yeah, another 15 moves for sure, which he will sit at home and for one day analyze all those 15 moves deeply.
Yeah. And take on f6. Yeah, he's taken it.
But I would like to look later, like what was a better idea, because it was not so easy. Knight g4. What is it, a blunder? Oh my God! Why
What?
is it-
Rook g7. Free!
Resign! Magnus has resigned and Pragnanda's won! क्या बात है! This was shocker! Shocker!
Did you see Pragg? His eyes were like, they lit up. It was like, oh, free piece by Magnus. You know, we were thinking that something will happen. And then Magnus still on the screen is...
Second time Pragnananda beats Magnus Carlsen.
We were all about like, draw ho jayega, it will be a draw now. But all of a sudden, Magnus blunders. And Pragg did it again. In the chat, people are saying again, Sachin tweet, Modi tweet. Yeah, possible, yes.
कितनी बार वो tweet करने वाला है अभी? We don't know.
Wow. And you can see that
Oh,
Magnus
look at
is
Magnus.
really unhappy with... and Pragg instantly switch off his camera and all, you know, Amruta.
Oh, look at Magnus.
Magnus is like, why the hell?
Because one move changed, yaar. He doesn't want to lose like this. It's
And
so
also
sad.
the thing is, Amruta, this win means a lot to Pragg. Although, in a way, he could have... That's what I'm saying. He kept the play going and he got his chance.
Exactly.
I thought it would end in a draw. I was almost like, okay, resigned, like now this is a draw. But wow.
Yeah, I thought king तुमने कुछ गलत मूव किया है इसके लिए ये बार ऊपर गया. I mean, come on. Like, what is happening? What is happening? I'm shocked.
Chess
I mean,
is
everybody's
unpredictable.
shocked.
Look at in the chat. Chess is unpredictable. Madness. Future world champion. Hard luck for Magnus.
Pressure paid off. But Sagar, have you seen with Magnus, so many times it happens that his opponents make these blunders, and all the time it's like, ये Magnus के साथ कैसे होता है? Now, when it has happened with Pragnananda, you can actually understand that there is this psychological pressure, which towards the end, at some point, you kind of explode.
True.
So it's not luck. It's never about luck.
No, it's not luck for sure. But also, I mean, in
this
the
is
end,
obviously bad luck.
in the end, losing that piece was, it was a draw.
Yes, for
But
sure.
yeah, I think congratulations to Pragg for that fight, and Magnus. Well, he made a mistake and he paid the price for it. Well, happens in chess. And as Amruta said, Magnus himself has won many games like that. Meanwhile, Vidit Gujarati is lost here against Eric Hansen. Eric somehow managing to always get the better of Vidit, you know. I don't know how. And he's just played really well, it seems, this game. Put pressure. And meanwhile, Nils Grandelius, from a totally better position, has been unable to break Hari Krishna's defense. So Hari Krishna, who is having a +1 score, no, he has a 50% score yesterday. Was it +1? He won a game, he lost a game, and 2 draws. Yeah, so by the way, here there's no +1 and all because it's 3 wins, 3 points for a win.
Acha.
And yeah, this is just draw. I think this will end in a draw. So Hari playing well and has good chances.
Don Kenny said, just imagine this level of commentary in Olympiad. Olympiad में
For
तो
sure.
India तो तोड़ डालेगा. For sure. This
Guys,
time-
we will all watch the Olympiad, right? So that'll be fun. Oh, meanwhile, Hari Krishna has managed to draw, and you can see there he was shaking his head that was a tough one for me. And he has, you know, Hari was just totally worse at some point here. He was under a lot of pressure, but somehow he managed to trade the weaknesses. Like C3 was traded for the B7 weakness, and I think here is where Queen C6 would have given a very good winning chance for Black, because he would have been 2 pawns up. But after this, he's just 1 pawn up, and Hari Krishna having a knight, and when the play is on one side of the board, then the knight turns to be a better piece than a bishop many times. So yeah, this ended in a draw. Very good defense by Hari. Let's just look at the final moments from Vidit's game. If there's any turnaround still left, I highly doubt it. It's going to be just lost.
Patrick Bro says, watching stream was worth not studying today. ये अपने मम्मी और पापा को बताना पक्का.
Siddharth Sharma says, I got shortlisted for the
Online interview.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Guys, how excited are you for Olympiad? Like right now we have 2.3 people, 2.3k people watching the stream. Are you all going to be watching Olympiad? Anybody? Can you tell me how excited you are?
Yeah. Also, Amruta, it's Vidit has lost. Vidit has lost his game. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that is a little sad. For sure.
Yeah. No, I think.
But sometimes Eric is in a very, very good form.
Yeah, I think today he just played really some great chess. And you can see he got his bishop there, got his knight here. And after d4, yeah, somehow he managed to play some great moves. Rook d1, attacking this, knight takes b6, queen c4, rook to d3, queen b4, and there came this nice shot, knight e5, because the d8 rook is hanging and also f7 is hanging. I mean, Vidit was worse, but queen b4 just hastened the end. He had to give up an exchange. Materially.
ठीक है, but I think he can strike back. He can strike back. He was black in this game. That is good. Sometimes it's sad when you lose with white. At least on this level. अपने level पे फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Vedant Thakkar says super excited for Olympiad and currently solving Bobby Fischer teaches chess.
Nice. Good
क्या
book.
बात है. Krutarth Shah says will try my best but JEE won't let me watch the Olympiad.
What?
तो JEE की पढ़ाई अब भी कर लो. Shiviatric says Olympiad ticket worth more than IPL ticket. I think. Zaryab Sumru says I'm from Pakistan. Still be watching and rooting for India. Oh, Zaryab.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
I think also Pakistan will have its team, most likely. Next round, Amruta, we have Magnus versus Abhimanyu Mishra. So
Arey.
one prodigy already has beaten Magnus. Now it's time for another one. We have Vidit versus Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. Very interesting game. Ding Liren versus Anish Giri. Another exciting game. And Hari Krishna versus Pragnananda. Wow. And
Hari Krishna versus Pragnananda.
Let's also have a look at the standings, Amruta, because the round has been completed. So let me see if we have the updated standings here. Yes, we have
Let us
them.
check that. So, apne last will be covering Kid Chess Festival. We have Aditya from our team who is there at Orissa already, and yes, we will be covering, and we may have a stall one of the days as well.
Wei is still leading. He made a quick draw with Ding Liren.
Wow.
So he's on 11, Ding on 9. Anish also drew his game. He's on 9. Pragnananda beating Magnus reaches 8. Anton Guyaro on 8. Magnus Carlsen on 8 points. Losing to Pragg. Sam Shankland doing well on 7. Eric Hansen beating Vidit, moving to 7. Abhimanyu Mishra, Shakhriyar Mamedyarov and Pentala Harikrishna on 6. Van Forest on 4 along with Nils Vidit, and 3 points for Aryan Tari and Gawain Jones on 2. So Amruta, it's a very close tournament here right now, and today's 3 rounds will determine who will move forward and has the best chance of qualifying for top 8 players qualify here.
Yeah, and we can see Pragnananda already on number 4. Okay. Chalo, let's see this one. Okay, there are still 8 minutes to go. Let me read some comments. Harish Mishra says, I gave the Olympiad interview yesterday. Bharat sir was roaming in the background. Hey, hey. Yeah. Pratik Bhavsar asks, can anyone tell what's the objective of Magnus to play knight there? Knight g4. I guess he wants to ask.
Yeah, he wanted to checkmate. He wanted to get into the position like knight e3 maybe and so on, attack the bishop, but he forgot rook g7 loses the bishop. By the way, Amruta, before we move forward, I want to show you guys a small bit of ad. I think many of you saw it yesterday, but if you haven't, then just check out these features of ChessBase and Mega Database. Very interesting one. Check it out. Chessbase 16 is a powerful software where you can save your games and analyze them. You can also create databases and manage them. It's a powerful tool for any serious chess player and is used by all the top grandmasters in the world of chess, be it Carlsen, Anand or any other tournament player. The best database that works along with Chessbase 16 is Mega Database 2022. The database opens inside of Chessbase and has over 9.2 million games with over 100,000 of them being analyzed and annotated by top grandmasters across the world. The biggest advantage of this database is that you can search any position and get to know who has played it before with the reference feature. You can also prepare professionally against your next opponent, which will help you to gain precious rating points in your next round. Get the Chessbase 16 and Mega Database now. Link is in the description. Guys, it's the first link in the description. If anyone wants to get Chessbase 16 and Mega Database, please do check it out. And if you liked it, please let us know. A lot of people use it and use it very successfully for their chess. Amruta, any more comments from the chat?
There are a lot of comments. Aditya says, sir, watching all your opening repertoires and preparing for Khel Mahakumbh state level tournament by government of Gujarat.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest tournaments actually. More than 10,000 players sometimes participate in it. So it's a very interesting event. All the best to you for that.
Wow. Wow. Sigma Rules channel asks, sir, are you coming tomorrow to the club?
Yeah, I want to come tomorrow and somehow stream Anand's games from there. So I don't know how. I'm going to ask Asim to help me with that. We'll figure out some
And
way.
Aritra Biswa says Indian Chess Day 20th March with Pragg beating world champion and Anand sir dominating the world.
What is it? Indian?
Today.
Ah,
He
Indian chess.
made it like an Indian chess. I think Indian Chess Day will be when Indian team will win the Olympiad medal, or also would have won that time. Being brilliant at chess asks how are engines produced as they are stronger than humans and no one is there to judge it. AI, right? AI.
Yeah, it's like some of the things which are closed circuit ones where there are limited number of possibilities like chess. The engines are superior to humans and so they are able to compute more and they are able to make better decisions than humans. This is how this is where we are going towards and that's why it's better at many things like Go and many other things where there are limited number of possibilities.
Someone says, I have some questions as I'm going to start my medical career and I will be back in the chat after 5 minutes. So please wait. Okay, we are waiting. Okay.
Okay.
Karandip Singh asks how to check upcoming FIDE tournaments. So we have a calendar, ChessBase India calendar.
Chessbase.in/calendar. You can go there and you can find it's one of the best calendars out there with all updated tournaments.
VJ asks, I really like ChessBase software, but now I don't use Windows. I have a Mac. Is there any chance we get a Mac OS or Linux version of ChessBase?
I have a, if you type Chessbase on Mac on Google, you will get an article over there and you will see how to use it on Mac. So it is possible to use it, but yeah, there are some steps you have to follow.
Sagar Chess Ambernath says, I think blunder like knight g4 can happen only online. Otherwise, it's hard to believe that world champion blundering this way in OTB. What say?
I doubt it. I think it's more to do with time pressure. You know, Magnus had very little time on the clock. Somewhere, I think both players were down to their last few seconds. And I think if it's OTB or online, you will see that such mistakes happen. I think for Magnus, it was clear. Like if Pragnananda couldn't play Rook G7, he wanted to give this check and pick up this pawn on F5. And he was getting ambitious. That's the main thing. So it was like every time Pragg gets ambitious and Magnus wins. Today it was the other way around, but the blunder was very banal somehow.
Apex says Indian Chess Day was when chat raised 5 lakh rupees.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was a very nice day.
Of course. Yeah, Chris Raj asks, can we access ChessBase database from Canada? Of course, you can access world over.
So Amruta, whose game are you excited to see in this round? Abhimanyu Mishra with Magnus Carlsen or Pragnananda with Hari Krishna?
Of course, both. No doubt. I mean, Abhimanyu versus Magnus, definitely don't want to miss.
Also,
He's one of the youngest. And imagine if Abhimanyu beats Magnus,
yeah.
which is actually possible.
Oh, it's possible because also Magnus
Because
might not
nothing
be.
is impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is why it is possible.
But in a way, if you think about it, somewhere I think Magnus after a loss sometimes gets really in that
Always gets
focused,
really in
focused mode
comeback. Yeah.
and wants to make a comeback. So could be tougher for him. But we could also say it the other way that maybe Magnus becomes slightly upset.
No, never.
Okay, we have the cams here.
No, never.
So we have the game Abhimanyu versus Magnus. We have Vidit taking on Shakriyar Mamedyarov. And we have Pragnananda versus Hari Krishna. Let's see if I'm able to.
And a final question to you, Sagar. Red Coder asks, Sagar Shah, can I become a GM in 1 year? I'm 800 rated player right now.
No.
सागर ने सच कह दिया है.
No
सच है
diplomacy here.
no.
It will take time. It will take time. Can't happen in 1 year.
So the games would have started. It's 20 to 30. मजा ही आ जाएगा.
D4 by Magnus against Abhimanyu. Okay. What does Abhimanyu do? D5. He'll play Slav. He likes to play Slav. He'll play semi-Slav. Knight F6. E3 will Magnus will go E3 for sure. G3.
Not so sure.
And Magnus sits, in his chair like this. And Bishop F5 by Abhimanyu. It's prep maybe. E6.
Knight C3.
Do you want to win a pawn, Amruta? D takes C. Oh, Knight H4.
No, not against Magnus. You don't want to give him that center, yeah? Acha. Anyway, it's the opening.
Oh, he took. What is this? No, I don't know if this is opening like Knight F5, EF5, E3. Bishop take. I don't know if this is prep. Maybe Abhimanyu's prep. Yeah, this all.
Acha.
Could be. Look,
Okay.
you can't play at 15 minutes 48 seconds if this is not your preparation.
Oh.
Meanwhile, let's quickly check what Pragnananda and Hari Krishna are playing. Pragg opens with E4. He got another white, and he plays the Rui Lopez again. D3 variation. And this C4 is a very interesting move because in a way it's like you're creating a Maroczy bind setup.
Yeah, Anglo-Indian.
Yeah, with Knight C3, Knight D5. But Hari Krishna immediately gets rid of the knight which is defending the D4 pawn, D4 square. So takes, Bishop E7, Knight to C3, castles and Bishop E3. So Pragg takes D4 into control. What do you think, Amruta? Overall, do you think who's the favorite in this game? Pragg?
Favorite is Pragg.
Favorite is Pragg.
Yes, of course.
That's a little bit of a direct statement. I think it's...
No, right now Pragg is a guy everybody knows, if they beat him, it's like that task is done.
No, I don't agree with you. I think Hari is very solid. Also, when it comes
not
to...
that way, I'm not saying that way, but I'm saying because he's young and because
No,
he's
in this game I'm asking. Favorite between Hari and Pragg. That's what.
of course.
So that's where I was saying Hari Krishna, when he faces... Sometimes when you're facing your player from your country, you become even extra careful many times. So...
I consider more in terms of audiences watching and they are seeing Pragg and Hari, and because generally whoever is the young guy, it's kind of that guy, like an underdog in some sense. So yeah, rating wise Pragnanda is 2706, but Hari is more experienced.
What? Pragg is 2706? Wow. What? In Blitz rating? Yeah, I didn't know in which format, but maybe this is their rating, yeah? Like Champions Chess Tour rating.
Maybe. Don Kenny says Hari is favorite for me. Tushar Patel says Pragg is favorite. Actually, this is good. You should have asked the people. Pragg is favorite. Yeah, so it would be like mixed. Sandeep Roy says Hari is rating favorite, but I think form-wise Pragg is right now the favorite. Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. I think Hari has been playing pretty well in this event. Let's see. But by the way, what about Vidit, whom he's playing Shakriyar Mamedyarov, and Vidit played E4 today. He's usually going D4, but he went E4. It was Italian. D3 castles, H3 D5. Takes. Generally, Amruta, C3 here. D5 is a well-known line here because then you have this a little bit of a like many times you can go with knight b6, attack this bishop. If it goes back, d3 gets weakened. But when you play h3, it's like you are playing against d5 many times, and he just played d5. So with it took, knight takes, and now knight d2, a5, knight e4, attacking the bishop, bishop a7, a4, making way for the bishop, f6, And we have this position on the board. Interesting one.
Yeah, I mean f6, he with the knight on d5, maybe he will go king h8. But more pleasant for white.
Oh, he goes
Somehow.
bishop e3. Nice move. Because now the knight cannot take, it is pinned. And if bishop takes, you take with the pawn.
That's nice.
Meanwhile, in the game of Hari Krishna, after knight d4, he took with the bishop, pawn takes, knight e2, c6 happened. Wow. Ooh. And I have a question for the chat. Guys, if knight takes d4, why is this a blunder? I was thinking he might go Amruta c5 to defend that pawn, but he went c6. Why is this a blunder?
Amish Gautam says Pragg has come off defeating the world champion. He will surely carry that confidence into this game.
Yes.
c6. Why is this a blunder?
Being brilliant at chess, Yash Bharadia, Chinmay Kelaskar, well done. Queen a5 check, and you lose the bishop.
1 minute.
But you know, guys, c5, which looked like a natural move, would have given white an advantage after castles, because you can move the queen, play f4. The knight can also jump here. So c6, castles. Now you are threatening to take. b5 played. Pragg goes bishop b3, queen b6, and this is on the board. And Pragg has a small edge here, it seems, because his bishop is very well positioned on this diagonal. Looks good. Looks good. Pragg beat Magnus. Let's rename this stream. You know, featuring, like Pragg beats Magnus Carlsen. Okay, let's get back. It's a big news. It's a big news for sure. By the way, what about the game of Anish versus Ding? Because Anish has a nice position. Nice, everything looks great. His rooks are well positioned. He wants to go e4 at the right time. Yeah, looks good for white. Slight advantage for white. I'm in fact worried about Hari even for the Olympiad, says Sandeep Roy. Hari has been such a solid player for years, but in his current form, he's under 2700 in live rating. His form is the worry, not his class. Yeah, it's quite possible that, Hari Krishna is not in the best of forms. But also for these players, team tournaments are somehow slightly different than individual events. And for a player like Hari, a team tournament can become very something where he can raise his game, because he's playing for his country, he's playing for his teammates, and so on. So knight h4 was played by Magnus. D takes c4. This happened. e3 happened, and Abhimanyu didn't rush to save his pawn on c4, because that would have been risky. He went knight bd7. Magnus took. Knight b6. Bishop b3. Queen d7. Bishop d2. Bishop d6. f3 by Carlsen. And look at Abhimanyu's time. He has close to 15 minutes on the clock. And this is this famous Abhimanyu look, this way. There are pictures of him like looking this way. Magnus thinking over there. Okay, let's go and check the game of, so Abhimanyu, I like Magnus's position. He might go e4 here. He has the bishop pair. He has more possibilities in the position. So yeah, slightly better for white. And this is what Magnus wants, small edge, keep nursing it. So this looks like it will be a game going in Magnus's favor, at least from the opening perspective, but we'll see. Ding Lijian versus Anish. Anish seems to be slightly better with this structure. This is generally the case in Queen's Gambit decline, that white gets his knight to d4 somehow like this and keeps pressing a bit. So Anish slightly better. Pragnananda, after moving his bishop to b3 and queen b6, has been thinking for a long time. You can see the time difference is very huge. And I might be very I don't think this is Hari Krishna's preparation. I don't think. But we should check the chess-based board here. Because
Chessbase 16 is a powerful software where you can save your games and analyze them.
Yes. So on the chess-based board, how did this game go? E4, E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, bishop B5, A6, bishop here, knight F6, D3, D6, C4. Right? This is how it went. Bishop G4, H3, bishop F3, queen F3, bishop E7, knight to C3, castles, bishop E3, knight D4. Yeah, this is not preparation. I think this is very few games have happened here. But has Hari Krishna played this ever? Not really. Bishop E3, D4, takes, knight E2, C6, castles, B5. Actually, there is a game, by the way, that has reached here. All these moves, and this it's played in 1993.
Yeah, but it already looks a little bit unusual.
Yeah, CB has been played. So let's go back and see. After CB, AB.
This is Pragnanda's game.
Yeah, CB, AB. He went knight G3. And maybe the knight is not so well placed, Amruta. Knight G3. Maybe here rook AC1 could have been nice. But knight G3 instantly played G6, limiting this knight. And now Pragg goes queen E2. So Pragg is preparing F4, F5 attack. But look at the time difference. 15 minutes.
Bapre. But after F4, F5, that F7 is also going to be under pressure with the bishop there, the knight already ready for the kill. Only thing is black, exactly, as he has this C5, and if he gets C4, then that should be his plan, right?
Yeah, but as we have already seen, an attack on the king often evokes very different reactions from humans as compared to the engines. So I think Pragnananda's idea, although not appreciated by the engines, might be very practically very strong.
Yeah. Let's see. This you have you ever played E4, E5, C4?
E4, C5, C4.
No, E4, E5, C4. Look, he's played 97 F4, by the way.
No,
E4, E5, C4. What happened?
But I have played sometimes C4, C5, knight C3, and then E4. But then it goes into E4, C5, C4. Right?
Little bit.
Do you think that Pragg is going to... Oh, he saves this. He's being very ambitious here. And guys, what should black do? And I think Hari will play it instantly. Come on, Amruta.
F5.
No! Black to play.
Black so new.
F5.
Too bad, yeah?
No, it just... This also has...
Oh, shit. Sorry. That's a blunder.
See, if white to play, what would white play? If it was white to play.
No, black to play bishop h4 again, I saw. Another idea. But
No,
instantly...
if black to play, white to play, wouldn't he go b4?
So you're saying play b4.
Yep. or queen a5, stopping b4.
Mittu Mohanan, Indian fighter, chess codes. But people have suggested bishop h4 also, where would you not be happy to enter this bishop versus knight?
Where?
You are saying suppose I go bishop h4 right now.
Here.
It's such a nice move.
Okay, here.
Bishop g3, queen g3, and now b4. Then I have a good knight versus.
Yes, but you have a bad king. You have a good knight, I have a bad bishop, but you have a bad king, and after f6 maybe it could be dangerous attack.
Yeah, sure. No, okay, agree.
No, if you attack Amruta, she will agree. She's always like, attack is the most important thing in chess.
True.
Meanwhile, Amruta, I love how Magnus Carlsen has been playing this game against Abhimanyu. He has, played f3, got the bishop pair, put his queen here, long castled, then tucked his king to the side, brought his rook to the center, and he's just doing it textbook style. I mean, he will be able to.
But this position is still very different. So, to easily understand the piece placement, because it's not a normal position, like there is a short castle and we know the good central squares and all. In this case, your bishop on d2 has to still get out.
No, I
Or
can
maybe
go.
it will reach
How about
C1.
e4? And my question is, after fe,
Queen d4, is there any
yes.
discovered attack?
So
or-
my question to the chat is, what do you do here?
It's Vedu asks, my rating is 2400 on leeches. Can I become rated in chess?
Yeah, for sure. You will get a very good rating. Yes, I think it's not about any discovered attack here, which are all possible. Bishop h6 is definitely a good move, but I like the move that Rishi Sarda has said. He is focused not just on the discovered attack, he's also focused on the f7 pawn that is hanging, and then after rook f8 you can move your bishop attacking here. When the queen moves away, you can then exchange. He has to take with the rook, and then you go e5, e6, and white is better. So that is the way, and Magnus Amruta plays e4.
Oh, right time.
He just calculated that queen d4 is not a big problem because this hangs. Meanwhile, what is up with Vidit Gujarati? Vidit playing against Shakriyar Mamedyarov has now developed a huge advantage, Amruta. We saw till bishop e3,
Yes.
king h8, he takes on a7, rook a7, rook e1, rook a8, Vidit went queen d2, bishop f5, c3, knight b6, bishop b3, queen c8, and he has now this very powerful move in the center with d4. Do you think he will play?
But d4, let's say if you go d4, for example,
Rook
and
d8.
I go rook d, yeah, first thing is rook d8, I pin the pawn. What do? You
I go here.
you simply play rook d1. And now for ed, are you going to take with the
Yes,
taking with the pawn?
Yeah, but I think
Knight.
better moves are knight c5 and knight g3. That's what the computers prefer.
But knight c5, d takes c3.
Queen takes.
You're a pawn down,
Yeah,
and
but-
you are having a compensation with this active pieces. So this is one assessment you need to make. And knight g3 was more natural, I would say, here. Still d takes c3 first. Anyway, intermediate, queen c3.
But
and
now take and
oh, rook e8 mate. Oh, Sagar.
no, it's not a mate. You will lose a piece
Acha, queen d8 ko queen d8. I thought.
and you lose a piece. So maybe here you have to go back, bishop g6, and then I can go knight h4, and I'm already this is a very typical idea, by the way, to use your knights on the king side. So
Nice.
let's see if Vidit comes up with d4. If he does, he has excellent chances in this game to beat Mamedyarov and come back after that previous round loss.
But if you don't play d4 and let's say if I play first rook d1 with
also,
the idea of
it's also a good edge for
possible.
white. By the way, let's go back to Hari Krishna versus Pragnananda's game. And oof,
बाप रे काफी moves हो गए हैं.
no.
Oh,
We saw f4. He went knight c5. He went bishop c2. Rook e8 was played. I think g4. This was a possibility. b4 here,
Okay.
and would have given white a good position. But queen g4 was a mistake by Pragg, and I think we can
but queen
see.
g4 looks so natural as well because you know you.
No, but it's
you-
tactical blunder.
Tactical blunder.
But guys, black to play. What did
I think this.
Pragg do?
Oh, but okay, let's ask.
Yeah, they've seen the move. But Agam Shah, yes, Ashik, slightly scatty, 94 Amruta. How did Pragg miss this? And the point is
I
that
still
if
don't get it.
d4, then d3, check, and you lose the bishop.
No, this he will see, but he would have seen knight e4 ko f5 he missed, yeah? Oh, what a timing. Hari is so alert for these kind of defenses, right? No matter what.
Yeah. No, and also, I mean, Hari actually found this tactical idea, Amruta, which is very cool. If queen f3, fe takes, and now bishop d8. And here what happens is that in this opposite colored bishop position, although the pawns are equal, rook swoops into e3. The other rook comes to f5. This bishop is passive. d5 will block this bishop here. Central majority, I like.
Those pawns are now better for black, for sure. I think the e3 square is definitely critical here.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So Hari has in a way saved himself, yeah? This is going to
No, not just saved himself. He's
But
got
he's
a
got a
good position, and you could see Pragnananda kind of, not very happy with what he has done. Because after beating Magnus, when the momentum is on your side, the last thing you want is to make a tactical error.
Exactly.
Okay, so black is better. And generally, Amruta, this happens with not with the young guys. Yeah, they are tactically very alert. But there's always chess is a great.
Sometimes you're also little bit more in the relief mode, let's say relieved, little bit subconsciously. तब जाके मिस हो सकता है क्या?
हो सकता है. I mean, there are many reasons why such a mistake can happen, but clearly Hari Krishna now, can he convert this, or do you think that Pragg will fight back and hold? Let's see.
Let's see.
Right now, it seems like the advantage is controllable. Meanwhile, Vidit Gujarati went d4 as we expected.
Oh, he did.
He did.
Wow. Rook a d8 was played.
Rook d1 also
Acha.
happened. So this.
So the question is whether he'll go for knight g3 or knight c5 after he takes d4. That too if Mamedov plays that.
Yeah. Or
But Mamedov will not play that because if Mamedov will also check that out, right?
what?
For e takes d4, he will also consider knight g3. So maybe he'll prepare with bishop g6.
I don't know what Mamedyarov might do here. Yeah, bishop.
He didn't play.
Not yet. Not yet.
He's thinking.
He's thinking. And also, by the way, Abhimanyu Mishra has become very tricky here in this position. After e4, he went knight d5. You can't take because your queen is hanging. But Magnus just dropped the queen back and asked Abhimanyu, what do you want to do now? Because if you take here, then bishop takes. And what's his plan? It looks so good for white, Amruta. It looks so good. Like two bishops, so big center.
Dream position.
Yeah.
Okay, this is very comfortable. Only thing is Magnus will always try to be extra careful at every point because last time he messed it up. Dhruva Kumar says, sir, I have won from 1 to 2 rated players and Dhruva with 1. So will my rating open? Yes, it
Rook
will.
c7 was played by Sam.
1 second.
And e5 has been played. And
But itna change in the evaluation?
because in one move, let's just look at Sam's face. Now the rook is unprotected, it's losing, and f7 is now defended, and d2 is hanging. So he's just blundered a
D2,
piece.
No, but rook c2 hai na?
Nahi, mar raha hai.
Anyway. Oh,
He's just blundered a piece.
what a blunder. Alag ही है.
No,
E5 आ
what
गए
about
suddenly.
knight f3, by the way?
Sir, queen c7 को knight
Oh,
d4.
bishop e1 is. No, queen
Towards
c7,
end.
knight d4,
Yeah, then bishop
and then
e1
bishop.
also.
Yeah.
Anyway, you have bishop f3, na Sagar?
No, bishop f3, then queen f7 mate.
Ooh.
That was the point. He goes rook e5. This is losing. This is losing for Shankland. By the way, Pragg has almost equalized here after rook c2, so maybe not such a
Oh.
huge damage. I think where Hari Krishna could have pressed better
Yeah, he had got an advantage, no? Where did he miss it then, Sagar?
was maybe playing d5 here.
Okay, what would he should have played d5? That's
Yeah.
what you're saying. Then takes rook c2.
And then with this passed pawn,
Bishop
black's
versus knight,
chances
that
are
way.
superior, right?
So he played.
Played queen c5, queen e2, and he is now trading the queen. So this after rook c2, queen e2, rook e2 is equal, sort of, or maybe not. Knight e2 maybe here better. Slightly.
So that you want to go to d4, then bishop f6 is forced, something like that. Okay.
Yeah, and with it in his game against Mamedyarov, some changes have occurred. After e d4, we were talking about how he should move the knight, but with it, I think took back, which was perhaps not the best move, but
fine. I mean, it's still
takes, rook takes, and now knight to c3. And with it wants the rook to move, and then so that he can push d5. But rook d7 is very accurate, Amruta, because if you went back rook d8, then after d5, it's different
I know
somehow.
why. Because if you go knight b4, the point is there is rook e7 and you get to the 7th rank.
Exactly, very nicely spotted. And in the game, he goes rook d7. So now if d5, knight d4, there's no rook e7 at least.
Yeah, there's no rook e7.
But he's played knight b4.
Still the rook on a8 is kind of stuck, and
Yeah.
it's good for white.
Also knight d4,
Yeah.
knight e6.
Oh, it's very tempting. This is very tempting. Knight d4 को तो क्या करेगा सागर? Knight e6 is unstoppable.
He'll go bishop g6.
Yeah, but the knight on e6, isn't it
Yeah,
so
it's a
irritating?
It's a good piece. But it's not the end of the world.
With the knight on e6, I'm not sure. For black, it looks at that too. Mamedyarov, I mean, let me look at his face. No, he's normal right now. Not showing any emotions. Vidit is like, I want to win this. That kind of an expression.
Yeah, Vidit is so
And
focused.
Magnus is not so happy or what?
No, it's his
Can
his
you have a
typical
look
look.
for a second?
I think for Magnus, or maybe
Yeah, he's not
Abhimanyu
so
fighting
happy.
back,
He's
huh?
not so happy. See?
A3, FE, FE, F5 by Abhimanyu. Now E5 was, I guess, the best move. Okay, maybe on some level Magnus did not like the fact that the knight would sit here very powerfully. So he went for taking and opening up the position. But now maybe Abhimanyu has good fighting chances.
Yeah, because so many pawns are exchanged.
Yeah.
But this h5 is weak. Queen h5 is the direct threat, right? What did Abhimanyu play? What if he plays knight d5 here? Because you can't take on h5, I think. Knight c3 would be fine.
Yeah. No,
Right?
BD2 I would go back.
You are not going to take on d5, right?
No, I'll play BD2. Just keep my bishop pair.
And then h4. Okay.
Okay, meanwhile, Pragnananda seems to have solidified himself in the position. It's around equal. And for Vidit, he has put his knight on e6. Wow. Ooh.
Knight e6. Yeah, what will black play here?
No, the thing is that the knight is so well placed.
It's the unwanted guest. घर पे कोई आता है ना, अपने को लगता है अरे यार कब निकलेगा. वो नाइट है वैसा.
Yeah, not easy to get rid of the knight. But okay, मुझे खेलना है knight b5 now. I want to play it, but rook d5 is hanging. Akshay Mohan asks, is c6 not good? But I think c6 will be met with d6, right? Or maybe knight c5 attacking the rook.
Rook d8 खेला तो d6 you get, I think.
Yeah.
That's just, and rook d6 खेला तो knight, इधर rook d6 खेला तो queen f4 maybe.
Look at this tactic. I want to ask the chat. White to play. Beautiful tactic.
आजकल सागर के hints बंद हो चुके हैं, so you have progressed.
D takes c6 everyone should. But d takes is rook d2, cb7, rook d.
आसिम ने बोला एनालॉजी ओपी. हाँ. श्याम वाटिका ने बोला I'll never come to Sagar's house. Read Chronicles ने बोला shots fired at समय. लोगों का दिमाग अलग ही चलता है.
No, d takes c6, rook d2, c takes b7. Somehow this seems playable. Knight b7, rook d1, yeah, rook b2, and it's a playable position.
But still very much simplifying. I mean, I don't want to risk the exchanges, so many exchanges.
But the right move, Amruta, is knight takes b7.
Queen takes b7.
Takes, and now d takes c6.
And
If
now
you take here, what's the problem? Back rank mated. And if you were to play rook d2, I would take cb7, attack your rook, and white is winning. But with it goes queen to f4.
अच्छा, no, ये हुआ ही नहीं, c6 हुआ ही नहीं. He played rook d6 and now queen f4 stops c6.
Yeah, but Amruta, there's a tactic now.
Black to play. Black के पास tactic है, knight d5 नहीं है.
Knight d5.
Already, because knight d5, rook e6.
Rook e6. Rook e6. Queen e6. Knight takes c7. Fork. Only move. Kind of. Queen e2. Rook d2. Queen e1. King h2. Rook c8. And black is doing okay. So maybe with it, although he's fighting here, Mamedyarov has made a comeback. It's around equal. And also the game of Pragg and Hari ending in a draw.
Yeah,
so good result for Pragg actually, because he was worse.
Correct. Actually, yeah, maybe Hari could have used his time a little bit better too, because he really had a good position. But sometimes what happens is, because he was under pressure in some way, even getting that equality, you become like ambitionless. Little bit ambitionless. Okay, what is the Magnus ka current situation?
Fighting still. Magnus
still
is
better.
a pawn up with an outside edge pawn, although doubled. This is a strong passer. Oh, he plays rook a6. Amruta, somehow Mamedyarov always finds some very creative ideas. But often they are,
Not the best.
error prone. Like here, there is a way for Vidit to get a very huge advantage. Because
Okay,
now,
that is fine.
no, it's just a question of holding this knight, like queen g4, and then so
Till
that
knight
this,
d5, knight d5.
I think back rank problems will happen, no?
Knight takes d5, let's say.
Take,
Rook takes c6.
take.
Queen, okay, knight c7 आ रहा है end में. Queen is.
So let's say, for example, take, take,
Knight c7.
take, and mating. Back rank and Amruta. A love story forever.
अभी जिंदगी भर याद दिलाओगे क्या?
Oh,
वो रहता है ना, बर्थडे भूल जाते तो जिंदगी भर याद दिलाते वैसे.
but he was rook d5, knight b5. Rook d5 has happened.
क्या ही इंटरेस्टिंग डिफेंस, राइट?
Yeah.
सो
Knight c7.
रुक टेक्स
No,
d5.
knight c7. No, rook takes d5, knight d5. Defending this and I mean both ways.
We need to, not possible. Oh, I forgot to see the chat. So you are suggesting knight c7. उसको क्या हो रहा है आगे? What is the
Yeah, I was thinking knight
calculation? Where is
c7.
black going to?
But take.
And now rook c6 खेला, suppose.
And now the only move here.
Not rook c6?
No, rook c6, rook d8. You will lose.
अच्छा. Only move.
Yeah, only move.
Let's ask the chat.
Guys, only move.
Of course. Shit. What am I thinking?
What?
Oh no, not even that.
No, knight c6 is just too passive, guys. Just take this.
Maybe you have to sacrifice the exchange.
Yash Bharadia, well done. Yash. Shaibi Binoj, excellent job. Knight d3 is the move. Meanwhile, Hari Krishna and Pragg have drawn their game, so good result for Pragg there. And the move is knight d3, Amruta.
Deepesh Goyal, Alston, Boaz, Ujan Alex. अच्छा, 93 भी आ रहा है ना, भूल ही गई. Nice.
It's kind of equal because there's no back rank here, queen g8.
So this exchange down is equal, right? Oh, so that assessment is not easy.
Yeah, that's
think
what,
your
but you know,
exchange up
Amruta,
and that assessment
if he
is
doesn't
really
play
difficult.
this now, Mamedyarov he's lost. So he has to find rook d1, knight d3. That is the only way in which
If he doesn't go for that, then he's lost.
He's
And
lost.
he has 1 minute 38 seconds. Guys, do you think Mamedyarov will play rook d1, knight d3? Yes or
Yeah,
no?
very important question. Will he go rook d1? I think it's again one of those cases where it's the only move.
Yes,
So,
yes, no, no, yes, 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 yes.
or
No,
he
no,
might
no,
think
yes,
knight
yes,
d3
yes.
first. Maybe that's
Actually 60% yes, 40% no. काफी छोटा सैंपल ले लिया yes no का.
What about Magnus and Abhimanyu? Ooh, Abhimanyu has now good drawing chances.
Opposite colored bishop, but Magnus has this double edge pawn जो h7 पे बैठ के बोलेगा कि अरे मैं IM ही रह गया, मैं GM कभी नहीं बना. Can you see yourself
Yes.
in that flickering pawn?
Takes. Now he's done the first step. Let's see. Vidit has to also take. What else to do? Take 8. Knight d3 finds it. It's the thing, Amruta.
मिल गया.
And now maybe queen e3. Then there is rook d6. So
both the knights are
no,
active.
great defense by Mamedyarov here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as you can see, Amruta, the IM is going towards GM title. Let's see how quickly does he become a GM, or does he help others become GM?
Nice.
Bishop takes d4. Let's go IM towards GM title. Push.
चलो.
Push किया है. C5. Okay. And now, Amruta, look at this move. Chat, try to find white to play. Magnus will find this move.
What? He's winning?
Yeah. Very powerful move.
C5 was a bad move. Oh, बन गया GM. तुम भी सोच ही लो अभी.
Dhanai Doshi found it. Well done, Dhanai. Very quick. Also, Alston Boaz. Oh, yes, he plays it. He finds it. queen takes e3 was the move here, Amruta. Taking the pawn, you can't take it because as you see the IM becomes a GM. So queen g7, queen g3 check, and it's time for Abhimanyu to resign the game actually because his position is utterly lost. Like bishop b3, bishop g8.
But so Abhimanyu was actually almost there. I mean, drawing, holding Magnus Carlsen, but the c5 move was a blunder. Oh,
No, he was in under pressure throughout the
yes,
game.
that's true. That's true. And look at Magnus. मतलब एकदम
Calm.
कोई reaction ही नहीं है.
No reaction.
Because he knows that it was definitely possible to hold if Magnus was black and before c5. The position is where black can hold.
Right. But I think it is camera had stuck.
Yeah.
No,
नहीं
his
नहीं.
camera got stuck. You said
No,
that
no.
he's very calm.
No, he was calm. हाँ, maybe.
But Amruta, the thing is when you face Mamediyarov, no, there are always opportunities. Like now, he's pushed and he's attacked there, f5. So if the bishop moves, there is a mate. It's not easy. So knight e5 again the only move for Mamediyarov. Hitting the queen, he finds it. Rook d6, queen d6. Now queen g3 important move because now you can't move the bishop. This is hanging. So Amruta, do you
Oh, and the
think...
knight is pinned. तो करेगा
Oh,
क्या?
check.
Queen d1 check.
बढ़िया.
What? King h2.
What?
कुछ
FG.
भी.
He took this. Take this
PC
piece.
दे दिया.
No, the
What?
thing is that this was the move. And if you take here, then here, and somehow this knight doesn't move because this falls. This knight doesn't move because this falls. Queen cannot move because of the disco. And you go g.
क्या? What?
What a
So
position.
basically, this has to be assessed
Yeah.
that it is fine.
Yeah.
Crazy,
Which
crazy,
cannot be
crazy,
done.
crazy.
So that's why Mamediyarov took on a4. And then now Vidit is a piece up. पूरा का पूरा piece up.
But फिर भी वो knights है, 2 knights है. और एक रुक pawn है Mamediyarov के पास.
Okay. Going to drink water.
But when you play with Mamediyarov, कुछ भी और कभी भी हो
But
सकता
अब तो piece up. पूरा का पूरा piece up.
Yeah, and that to queen and knight, and the queen is entering on f8. Chal, this is too no chance. I think a resignation is going to come soon.
No.
I will stop queen f8.
Not soon.
Queen
He'll
f8,
play-
king g7, 2 move mate
He'll
thread.
take. He'll play that endgame.
Sorry. मैंने क्यों इधर देखा ही नहीं 4 पे अभी तक है.
पानी है. Please transfer some water in my account.
Donate कर दे.
Oh, he takes. And now, will Vidit be able to convert this? I think very high chances, Amruta.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If you would remove the queen side pawns,
Knight
then
B5, it might be drawish. Knight b5, good move. Because अगर तुम इधर a4, if you play a4, then knight b2,
exactly that was my question.
knight
If you remove the queen
c5,
side pawn.
b6, and then I take here. So exactly. So here knight b5, good move. You don't even have to get rid of those pawns here. And now knight c7. Look at
Oh,
how
this endgame is
Look at
very
how
good.
Magnus is beating Abhimanyu. He has kind of locked this, and his king is going to go in this way.
वो रुक को देख के तुम्हें किसकी याद आ रही है?
किसकी?
नहीं किसकी याद आ रही है क्या? नहीं मुझे मैंने बस पूछा तुम्हारे पास कोई एनालॉजी हो जाएगी ना.
नहीं, आज नहीं है.
तुम क्यों इतने खुश हुए? तुम्हें किसकी याद? क्योंकि आज कोई भी एनालॉजी नहीं दी तुमने वो रुक के रिलेटेड.
Oh, Amruta, look at this. What Mamediyarov? Oh,
What?
Vidit blundered.
क्या?
Vidit blundered because here he had to play knight d5 and he was better, but he actually found king here.
Oh, 93.
And he missed this.
He missed a simple move. No. He thought this is winning. One second. I don't think he actually blundered. उसको लग रहा है कि ये एंड गेम विनिंग है.
How is this winning now? Because now it's
Because the
very
king
difficult.
enters to e6 na. नहीं क्या?
A4.
No, this is not winning, but can white lose? I mean, the bar is showing that black is slightly better.
Yeah, there's no chance for white to win. King D7.
Maybe he has to play knight b5, knight a3. वैसे draw है क्या?
Because if you want to win these pawns, knight
हाँ.
cannot win them. So the king has to go there. Once the king goes there, then the black king starts to come this side, and the pawns get traded like this. Sorry.
So if you get g4.
No, this is unbelievable, Amruta. Like, it was a full piece up. And you
Oh,
can
look
see
at
there with
him.
it, he's unhappy. He's like, he's missed his chance.
But if he would not have allowed knight a3 over there already, he was still winning, yeah? Like it was only that knight a3.
Yeah. Like here,
King d4,
king
huh.
D7.
What?
So this knight is defending this. So if he goes knight D5, maybe king goes here. But then you have to find king D4, which
Wait.
might be a tough
King d4
move.
is the only move here,
Yeah,
but king takes b5.
knight C3. And then I win this.
Okay.
And I keep the pawn.
But if you go knight c3, is it
हाँ.
not fine?
No, then
Oh.
king C5.
बाप रे, ये तो tough है यार.
Yeah, it's
Tough.
not easy. It's not easy.
Tough.
It's tough, but
I mean, for 50 seconds or 60 seconds,
Yeah.
I'm saying this is tough.
maybe Vidit doesn't even think that he played incorrectly.
Yeah. It's a complicated position with the knights, actually. And black has good enough pawns, na? मतलब जब वो queen a4 मारा ममेदेरव ने,
Uh,
actually didn't think he would be getting so much counterplay.
yeah, I agree.
Cool.
I think it's a draw. Wei is leading the pack, Amruta, with 14 out of 18. Ding Liren on 10. Wow. Now, Amruta, if you overstretch, like here, Mamedyarov can suddenly play b5 and start playing for a win. Because if you go king c5, I go king e6, you take king b5, my king starts to enter here.
If Vidit stretches too much, that's why he should have repeated, no?
Yeah.
Knight a3, knight b5.
No, but
he's-
Vidit wants to win. When you're a piece up, it's very difficult to. Yeah, look, b5. Now Mamedyarov wants to win.
So, no. But also for Vidit, what would have happened is he was all the time plus. So, even to accept that he's in this situation.
Not easy.
Rakshit Singh says VD will make a comeback in the coming rounds for sure.
Possible, quite possible. King e5, king a4. Now, Amruta, who's better? This is getting very, very dangerous. I think white has no chance here because the black king
Yeah,
is too close.
Correct.
The white king is too far. So with it, look at Mamedyarov. He just zones in. He knows this is his chance.
Baap
You can see from the expressions of these players that who's in the driver's seat. King f4, g4, king g3, king b3. Okay, somehow. Okay, Vidit will put his knight on e3. Yeah, that's how he might be able to hold. But now f5.
f5, you can't ignore, right? You have to play knight e3.
No, knight e3, f4. That might be winning, no?
So, but if I play gf5, then gf5, and then anyway f4 you're playing. f5 को क्या
No,
करोगे?
no, no. Yeah.
f5, gf5, knight e3 मत खेलो.
G5,
Don't
G5,
play
bring
knight
the
e3.
king.
Yeah. But
But
king
then-
h3.
2 pawns. Wow.
Oh, you have to.
F5.
Can you defend
This
this?
is- this
And
is-
18 seconds. No, yaar. One wrong move and
Yeah,
it's
this is
not
difficult.
It's not possible.
If Vidit holds a
Practically,
draw here, it would be a good achievement. Let's go f4.
Now, knight e6. No, knight e6 को f3 आएगा. Knight g5. f2 को knight e4 है. Oh,
So, yeah,
defended.
he got
knight
the
e4 was very
He got
good.
the draw.
Quick
Yeah, there.
re-scene thing. Baap re.
Oh, there, Vidit shaking his head. Of course, he was winning there. Mamedyarov should be happy with what he's got. Draw. So with that, let's have a look at the scorecard. What's happening here in this tournament? We have Wei Yi on the top of the
With
table.
14 points, man. He's already 3 points ahead. That's huge. And Magnus Carlsen has joined number 2, has come on number 2.
Yeah.
David is also playing well, right? Third. On third with 11 points. Ding Liren, Anish Giri on 10 points on number 4th and 5th. Pragnananda on 6th place with 9 points. He's retaining his top 8 position, in fact. Mamedaro, Van Forest, Eric Hansen, Sam Shanklin, Hari Krishna, and Niels on 7 points. Abhimanyu Mishra, 6 points. Vidit Gujarati on 5 points. Aryan Tari on 3 points and Gavin Jones on 2 points.
Yeah.
So Wei Sagar would be playing after a long time.
Yes.
What do you think? Or was he playing actively?
No,
in the
he was
last
not
few
playing
months?
much. He was not playing much at all. And now he's really shown his class in this tournament. I think if we look at his performance, Amruta, we will see that he has he has beaten, he's drawn with Pragg, beaten Hari, beaten Gawain Jones, beaten Anton Guyaro, and Hansen Eric. So he's faced all the kind of bottom half. He's yet to face Mamedyarov, and then Magnus, then Anish, and all of these opponents he's yet to face.
Acha,
So
yeah.
it will be with it. It will be an interesting second half. Sorry, guys. Very sorry. But Amruta, with it really missing a golden charts there. Also, Hari Krishna missing a charts against Pragg to some extent. And now we are moving to round number 7. And we have Magnus versus Hari Krishna.
Oh, Magnus is black, Hari is white. Okay, what is the pairing? So Magnus versus Hari Krishna. What about Pragnananda, Vidit, Anish?
Pragg, Gawain Jones.
Okay.
By the way, last round Anish drew with Dig. Anish versus Eric Hansen.
Mm-hmm.
Vidit versus Jordan Van Forest.
Vidit versus Van Forest. Vidit is black. Nice. Do you think Hari has any chance of beating Magnus?
Oh, for sure. Anything can happen, I'm very much looking forward to, what's going to happen. Also, Wei Yi, Amruta, is facing Mamedyarov. That'll be fun.
There are 8 minutes more or what
Yeah.
for the round? Okay.
Disha says, Sagar bhaiya kaise ho? Parso meri KYPY. KVPY exam hai. What is KVPY?
No idea. No idea.
And not studied at all. Well, Disha, time to get rolling now. Why not? Begin today and then tomorrow, and you will do well day after.
Yeah. अभी 12th के बोर्ड एग्जाम्स भी रहेंगे ना चालू?
Maybe. Also, Pragg, is giving exams. Did you know?
What?
11th. Yeah, he had his exams. He was giving his exams in the morning and playing this in the evening. I think he had like 1 or 2 days which were overlapping, or 1 day.
Imagine na, today if Pragnanda has given an exam and he has failed, okay, तो कल के न्यूज़पेपर में हेडलाइन Pragnananda beats Magnus Carlsen and fails in the exam. Or fails in the exam and beats Magnus Carlsen.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing.
They have said what is KV. Radha Chandrasekhar says KV
Kishore
is a
Vaigyanik
national
Protsahan
level
Yojana.
exam for admissions.
Manan Pandya says, Yaar Sagar, why don't you stream Anand's game? Yaar Manan, why don't you check Chessbase India? I streamed today.
He streamed full time. Where were you? इतना exciting था आनंद का game.
हाँ आज बहुत मजा आया.
Exactly. And guys, are you playing? Oh, Dipesh Deshmukh says I'm playing my first tournament in June. Which tournament you're playing? How many of you are planning to play a first rated event in the coming 1 or 2 months? And how are you preparing for that? Venkateshwar Reddy, his running nose is generally an allergy of
Yeah,
not sleeping
this
properly.
one I don't know
or
why
it
it happened.
comes very
No, I
all
know
of
why
a
it
sudden.
happened. That kulfi yesterday.
उसके पहले ही था तुमको सर्दी, मतलब सडनली हो गया था 2 मिनट में. Like he's like normal and very suddenly सर्दी हो जाता. So it's sometime back to back things happening that way. Kavya Jain says me at chess in Lake City FIDE rated under 18. Nice.
Yeah, chess in Lake City tournaments have been going on for several years and they are quite nice. So they happen in Udaipur, I think. So if anyone is around there, can go and play. Also, please check our calendar on chessbase.in. You will find all the tournaments with circulars. What are the entry fees? What is the prize money? What can you play? And you can decide.
Anamika Bhadra says I'm playing in Kit in Bhubaneswar. I am Agni
Day after
Dipta
tomorrow.
Sarkar.
Oh, day after
I'll play in
tomorrow.
Group C.
Play
Awesome,
well. Play
awesome.
well.
And before every game, guys, 5 से 10 मिनट के लिए तो tactics थोड़े solve करके जाना. That would really help. ब्लंडर्स तो होने वाले ही है, पर 10 होने वाले तो 8 में.
नहीं ऐसा नहीं.
ऐसा कुछ नहीं. सागर का कॉन्फिडेंस देखो. Sagar, what?
Magnus is just enjoying, relaxing. Guys, he's just chilling at his home. In the background is also Henrik there. Yeah, but
But you cannot show it right now.
Yeah, he's just relaxed. Actually, this doesn't look like his house. It seems like his parents' house he's playing from.
अच्छा.
Because it's so well organized, the kitchen and everything. You saw that, yesterday. So it
Yeah,
seems
I
like,
don't think a 31-year-old will be
yeah,
so organized. That's true.
unmarried.
Sad plays ask in chess, why do players don't look each other while handshaking? ऐसा कुछ नहीं.
They
देखते
some
भी
look,
है.
some
Some
don't.
of them do look. Sagar, Manan Pandya, Sagar, clear a confusion. Are you Gujarati or Punjabi? I think I'll tell you. When he dances, he's a Punjabi. Sagar.
By the
When
way,
he eats, he's a Gujarati.
tomorrow, 10th session of the Chess Base India Chess Club is there in Mumbai. So all those who are in Mumbai, please do come. I'm planning somehow to see if I can commentate on Anand's games from there. Find a way to do that. If that happens, that would be cool.
Roro says, Amruta, your assumption is based on Sagar Bhai, but not all unmarried men of 31 are like that.
Oh.
Nice. Roro, you are very organized, it seems. And you're also unmarried. Gautam Sapne says, you guys are a very cute couple. Your love and respect for each other are very easy to see when you commentate together. Keep up the good work. Thank you. TD Lama says, please don't give out the results on the headline. Excitement is lost for those who are not live. It's like telling the story before a movie was watched.
Yeah, possible, but some people are like, oh, did Pragg beat Magnus? How? That way. Okay, let's go. And guys, the round is about to begin. Both the players are in their chairs. Boom! Magnus Carlsen on your left. Hari Krishna on your right. What do you think is going to be the
E4 or
result?
D4 or C4, Sagar? C4, D4, E4. Guys, what do you think?
D4. D4. Hari Krishna. No, he'll go E4, E4, E4. Hari will go E4. I mean, he played D4 last game, didn't get a good position. He'll go E4 for sure. For sure.
Sachin
For
asks,
sure.
what's with the 15 minutes with GM Zoom call?
Ah, yeah. I will send you the message what he has sent me.
Rakshit says E4, Hari Krishna, obvious.
I think so.
Anush Sankaran says NF3.
No. Unlikely. Pragg is playing against Gawain. E4.
ये C6 कारोगान.
Wow.
क्या बात है?
Wow.
क्या बात है?
Wow. Oh, he's
D3
played
line.
this D3.
Oh, don't play D4, D4, Queen D1, please. No,
No,
please,
he won't do that. I think he'll play Bishop G4. But also DE, I was seeing this one video by Swapnil on his channel, GM Swapnil Dopade. He said take. And then his recommendation was something like knight f6, knight d2. And here he suggested a very key move that should be played by black. Can anyone tell me what is that move? Let's see. And those who don't know, go to Swapnil's channel. I think it's Chess Patshala into Swapnil Dopade. Very nice stuff. He teaches a lot of good things. No, this is a very important move, Amruta.
Is it E5?
No, not E5. In fact, hardly anyone would be able to find it. Ujan Alex, you are close but not right. The move here is
G5.
Yes. That's what he recommends.
Interesting, man.
And then
I just
you
thought
go-
knight D2 पे गया तो क्या फर्क पड़ा? तो G5 का square गया. G5.
Yeah. And by the way, Magnus
Nobody guessed it, I think.
Magnus goes for Amruta. Look at this. How Magnus
This is night. I'll
trying
just
to.
give you a suggestion. Amrita Chakravarti has said, please make a video on chess training plan. Tournament खेलना है तो क्या कर सकते हो? Maybe that's a good idea. Why not? Okay. What did Magnus play?
Magnus went G6. So Hari went E5, blocking the bishop. C5. Magnus deliberately playing something slightly inferior, maybe, so that he can get good fighting chances.
Yeah. बट कारोकान में ये बहुत ही कुछ अलग ही हो गया है ना ऐसा. इट डजंट सीम लाइक कारोकान एट ऑल.
Yeah.
D4. Now look, D3, D4. So C6, C5, D3, D4.
It's like French, but with not like it's a mixture of French, Karokan, everything.
Okay, what about the other opening moves?
Okay, Pragg playing against Gawain Jones. Actually, Gawain is well known for his aggressive chess and gambit lines. He goes Bishop E2, D3.
Oh,
Castles.
something like Gropri, but with the bishop on E2.
Yeah. And by the way, Gawain Jones loves to play Gropri. Yeah? He's a big expert in that opening. But Pragg has played so simply, like he's played Bishop G7, castles, D5 center. I mean, he makes it look easy. He'll play B6, BB7 now. Black would be doing quite okay.
Yeah. And
What about Vidit? He is playing against Jordan. Vidit is playing with the black pieces. So let me just have Vidit and Jordan Van Forest on your screen. So it started off with D4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, d5, knight c6, a3, bishop c3, bc3, knight e4, e3, knight takes c3. With it snatches the pawn. Jordan says, I will not take back the pawn, and he is playing it as a pure gambit. he has the bishop pair. With it in return has a pawn. What do you think?
Jordan's preparation is generally considered to be very good, right?
Yeah, look at his time, 16 minutes. With it has 13 minutes.
Yeah. No, but generally when people play gambits against
Greedy,
Vidit,
weedy. Yes, Gadi has it. Yeah, sort of.
somehow he is able to, manage and get out of that situation and then be a pawn. So we have to see. It's not easy because today's day is not going very easy for him.
Yeah, for
That is
sure.
another difference. So let's have a look at what about Anish? What happened to him? His game. He's playing with Eric Hansen. And Anish is black.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just out of the
Let's
opening.
stick with Magnus versus Hari for a while.
E5, C5, D4, knight C6, DC5, bishop G4. Threatening maybe. Oh, by the way, this would be a blunder. I'll just show you, guys. For example, knight D2. And now why is knight takes E5 a blunder? White to play and win. Bila Kanti Nikhil, thank you for becoming the backer of Indian chess. Thank you so much. Amruta, can you find the right answer and then read out their name?
Course. Aryan Goswami, Dhanay Doshi, Mithun Ramalingam, Unitech, Harshit Arora, Learn with Cause DP, RVG Thomas, Sarth Joshi. Guys, you guys are right. The right answer is knight takes e5, and after bishop d1, there is bishop b5 check. A typical trap. Maybe you have shown this, na trap in your trap series, the
Queen's
original
Gambit,
trap.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's similar. Just remember that sometimes when the pin is not absolute, it can be broken. Like here, there is a pin, and if knight d7, here taking this would be incorrect because of the same concept. Pin is broken, you win the queen, but with this check, you will lose the queen, and then black is a piece up. By the way, Pragg did go b6 as we thought.
Yeah.
Bishop d2 by Gawain.
इधर तुमको शांति से खेलना है. Maybe at the right time you may even go for d4.
I think what Pragg is thinking about is knight d4 here. It's a very interesting move.
But
Knight
why not bishop e7? Oh, he took an e4. That is
d has to take, yeah.
now knight d4. But better was to have those d5, d3
Yeah.
pawns. Kya?
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't like the idea of that tension with when white could always go for e5, and he.
But now e5 would be even stronger, Amruta.
Acha.
Huh.
Oh, right now. Why? Because if my bishop, that is why if my bishop was on b7, no, after e5, I'm not worrying about knight moves and then knight e4. So e4 square was in control. But abhi nahi hai. So what happens for e5? What do you do?
Here?
Acha, it's not good still. Blunder.
No, it's
क्या था सागर टाइम?
blunder. I don't like. I avoid. But blunder likes me. I can't avoid.
बाप रे.
By the way, e6 played by Magnus. He didn't fall for this knight takes e5 trick which Hari Krishna had set up with knight b2.
Okay.
But also Hari's position looks great. This is very reminiscent of the Karo Khan c5 variation. e4, c6, d4, d5, e5, c5. This is a very interesting line. And then many times white takes, and you get this similar thing what is happening right now just with this weird move g6. And I think that is in Hari Krishna's favor.
Exactly. That's what I was going to ask you. So, also after h3, it is clear that black has to give up his bishop, which
Yeah.
is okay, right? In usually, even if the pawn is on g7, would you say he's okay with that?
What?
h3 ko bishop f3.
Yeah, that is fine. But also the dark squares are weakened, and generally you want to take this pawn with the bishop, not put it here.
Yeah,
h3
he goes
has been
h3.
played.
That's takes,
Takes.
knight takes, and now he'll play bishop c5.
So then you,
bishop
what's
d-
the point? You would rather
Correct.
have this pawn here.
Oh, so needed. This is so much in favor of Hari. So just go bishop d3, knight e7 ko castle. I think Hari is really put Magnus under a lot of trouble. We need to jao abhi.
Or bishop f4 maybe. Just develop.
Haan.
Because queen e2.
But whatever you play, maybe knight b4 is what Magnus would like to play. No, bishop b5 check is there.
But look at this move. Knight d4. Now this is hanging. And if you play a
f4,
bishop.
if I play f4, I can't castle.
This is slightly better for black.
So knight d4 is important move ho gaya.
Oh, so queen
Baap re.
e2. That's
Queen e2
not
is
a good
not
move.
a good move. The natural move when they are not good moves, you are.
So Amruta, you just
You have to
said
be
queen
careful.
e2, and I think this is what most of the people would play. But I think you also missed this move. You were looking at knight b4, I think.
Yeah, but bishop
you thought
b5 and I
this check.
rejected it.
Yeah.
So knight d4 was.
But
Hey,
this-
Sagar, knight d4, bishop d4,
Yeah.
bishop b5 check,
King f8.
king f8 शांति से आ गया है. Oh.
f4.
Hmm.
Knight e7.
No, bishop h6 check आएगा, Sagar. No, sorry. f4 पे खेलना.
Ooh.
Illegal move हो रहा है अभी. क्या करें?
Okay, takes, bishop takes d4 has happened. And I think Hari Krishna has to be careful now.
Sagar, we have got a complaint.
Yeah.
Unemployed citizen says, अरे यार chess इतना addictive क्यों है? Because you are an unemployed citizen. Oh my god.
Let's look at Pragg's game because it has heated up, and I think Pragg has got a very good position because after knight d4, somehow rook d1 was to be preferred. This is a very interesting move, Amruta, giving up the c2 pawn, getting your queen out. But he naturally preferred bishop d3, but missing out on this very nice tactical resource which Pragg found here. Can you find it? Black to play.
Oh, I think I saw it then. Oh, he did miss that.
c4.
Baapre.
And now if you take knight takes d4, I won't take with the queen because if queen takes, there is bishop e3 attacking the queen, and once the queen moves back, I will take on c4. But the move here is c takes d3. Now d4 is hanging, and whatever you play, d takes c2, bishop a6, black is doing very well.
So Pragnanda is going to beat Gawain Jones. Yeah, I mean, he really has a very good
not
advantage.
Yet, not yet,
No,
but
this
look
is
at
a
what
super
Gawain has done.
advantage.
Look at what Gawain has done. He takes here. Oh, by the way, Pragg misses this small little idea where he could have won a full piece.
Queen d4 check. How did he miss it? Because knight c2 था.
Yeah.
एक मिल रहा है, तो you are happy with that,
Yes.
basically. It's
But
like
here-
arranged marriage हो रहा है. You see a girl or you see a boy and you like him or her, and then you don't see more. तुम्हें कैसे समझेगा? तुमने love marriage किया है ना?
But I mean, it's just, I think it's like you get a job, like you are unemployed, and you see a job of, say, giving you a 10,000 salary, you go for it.
Hmm.
But then you have a $30,000 salary. I mean, everything was in dollars by then. Right, C2.
बाप रे थोड़े ज्यादा ही हो गए
I
फिर
mean, this, I mean, of course, though,
ठीक है
it's
दिस
like
इज विनिंग
he's still, I mean, better, but that would have been curtains on the spot. Here, Gawain will try to launch a very dangerous attack with bishop h6 and knight g5. So Pragg has to remain slightly careful. Let's go
Okay.
back to the game of Hari Krishna.
Oh.
After bd4,
this was
f4, knight
What did
e7.
it happen? Queen
Yeah.
e2.
Yeah,
ये हो गया?
yeah.
क्या बात कर रहे हो? So Magnus has got a better position.
Yeah.
Oh.
Magnus making use of this g6 move.
Yeah, actually, man, how he has really tricked the opponent psychology. क्योंकि G6 पे ऐसा लगा अरे यार क्या तेरा पोजीशन है मैग्नस इतने सारे वीकनेस लेके बैठा है suddenly it's like wow.
Yeah, great opening play. Meanwhile, Vidit from being pawn up has somehow lost a few pawns. Like maybe that's his strategy. Here he went bishop d7, gave up first pawn, c5, gave up second pawn, h6, gave up another pawn there, and I think white is slightly better. White is a pawn up, but it should be holdable.
Yeah, because the c4 and c4 pawn is really weak. Really. Yeah, this is generally a very good composition with the pawn on b6, na? Takes. It's fine. Okay, takes. Now, can you defend the c5 pawn? No, you can't. So, queen c5. Mari डालो ना अभी. You should take.
But then rook d1. You might
There
get
is a
into some.
Oh, it's lost, na? Queen
Yeah.
c5.
You have to move the bishop out here.
Okay.
Way better against Shakhriyar Bavedyarov. I don't think Way is going to leave him. He will press. You know what happened in that opening, Amruta? d4, knight f6, c4, e6, and Bavedyarov to play.
Knight c3 is Nimzo. Mamedar will not play normal. No knight f3. h4. g4. Wow.
He didn't even care. Way he was like, I don't care about that pawn. He just played at the center. Very nice play by Wei. And look at this nice move. e5. Boom, bishop comes. Knight c3. And I think Wei is going to get a great position here.
Really, with black way, if he
Yeah.
beats Mamedarov, he is going to be on crazy soul lead.
Yeah, he's going to be on
Because
top.
with this 3 points, it's real huge difference which is happening. Wow, G4 is ultimate, yeah.
By the way, Amruta, Pragnananda has tried to come out with his knight. I'm a bit worried about really the attack, seriously, because
ठीक है. So the basic idea is bishop h6 and knight g5. ठीक है. But
I mean
नहीं कैसे कुछ नहीं है ना because ये पूरा d file is open.
yeah,
Like कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते.
always there are these
Queen d4 check है.
So
dark
let's say, for
square
example,
है.
I go bishop h6.
Yeah, let's say that.
Suppose you go bishop b7.
हाँ शांति से कुछ भी नहीं ignore. Knight g5,
You
queen
have
d4
queen
check.
d4. And then after
And then I
king
always
h1,
have knight.
you have queen c4 attacking f1 also. So maybe rook d1. But once you
Queen c7 anyway.
once you get your rook away from the f file, then you don't have this sacrifice of the rook to, get to the h7 square. So that shouldn't work.
So
Okay.
this is like a clearly winning. Now we can say
Yeah,
he's
it's better.
clearly winning.
Yeah, it's clear better at winning, but not sure how cleanly he will convert.
And as what this has happened, what we had discussed, bishop e5 check has come, king is on f8, knight e7 हो गया है. And white's king is now under the question. Short castle हो नहीं सकता है.
Yeah.
Long castle, you wouldn't want to do that. Do you want to? King f8, let's say I go c3, Sagar over here.
C3, bishop C3 maybe? Or except, right? Because if bc3, queen c3.
So then I can't develop the c1 bishop, I mean, unless I give the b2 pawn
Yeah.
sacrifice. It's not possible. How do I develop, yaar? How do I develop?
Not
It's an important question. No, not easy, TK, but how do I develop?
What is
Not c3. Okay, can I go c4?
No, take, queen d2.
Queen a1. Castle. You want to do this exchange sacrifice. Castle kar lo.
Yeah.
This is at least you are out of that suffocation. Oh, that's a beautiful exchange sacrifice, actually. है ना?
Yeah.
Now you
he
are
played
actually
C3.
taking.
He played c3. Wow.
That's a good move. That's a good move by Hari.
Hari
This is
Krishna
good.
is ready.
How to fight in these bad positions. It's good. It's great to see this.
Takes. Ooh, bad. This is getting really intense. Now queen d2. Hari plays it. Wow,
You have
queen
to take
a1.
queen a1.
And
In fact, now I
castles.
practically like White's position, Sagar, with
Yes.
that king on f8 and those two bishops.
And bishop coming to a3 or later Amruta f5 and bishop h6 at some point in the future.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, in Pragg's game against Gawain Jones, Jones has played e5 and Pragg is so alert. He goes bishop b7. Because if you take e takes f6, he will take back and he will just be exchange up with this nice set structure here. So that means that Pragg is ready to give up a piece. He's a rook up and he will manage to keep pressing. Rook c8 played by Magnus Carlsen, Amruta, and now very important for Hari Krishna to find a very critical move here. Not
So it is either bishop b2 or bishop a3.
no, if bishop a3 then there is queen c3, which is what he wants. And if you play bishop b2 there is queen takes a2.
Correct.
So the move here and the
One
only
second.
move is guys.
तुम माउस किधर तो लेके जाते हो तो लगता है वो.
Chess fan got right.
Oh, are you saying only move इधर?
Yeah.
मतलब अगर वो only move नहीं खेला तो what happens? Is
He
black
loses.
So why is this only move? Let us understand. Bishop d7. क्या हो रहा है? Rook c7. So learn with cos dp, Khushi Gupta, slightly scatty, Jay Sangvi, Aryan Spartan, Sankalpa Dikshit, chess fan. Yeah.
And now rook c7, Amruta. You have to find again the only move for white.
बाप रे, मतलब we are at a combination from c3 in a way, if you look at it. Because castle was very natural. Rook c8 को ये सब
But he
forcing
didn't
है.
play bd7. He played direct f5.
अच्छा, तुम बोलो bishop d7 rook c7 के बाद f5 क्या?
हाँ.
What is the difference there?
Because now if queen e5, by the way, there is bishop
B2.
no, bishop
Blunder
d2,
है
there
ना?
is d4.
नहीं, d4 को मार दो bishop d4.
But let's give this check. Now
King
king
G8,
g8 only move and
F6.
f6 mate.
Finish.
So
Knight f5 को rook f5 you mean.
here he must play the move and a very important move. Rook takes on c1.
Okay, I don't have any intermezzo right now, so I have to take. Now you go queen e5, and after queen e5, I don't have queen h6 idea because after king g8 there is no f6, and there is no rook c8 check also because that knight on e7 is guarding it.
Yeah.
So, Oh my god, this position is lost.
Yeah, rook c1, can Magnus find it? If he doesn't find rook c1, Hari is winning.
So Magnus will find because it's a forced move
Yeah.
as a defense, then you find. But the question is, Sagar, then just until while Magnus is thinking, if I would go bishop d7 and rook c7 and now f5, this is the point to understand. Because if you go rook c1 now, same idea, rook c1 and then queen takes e5, what would be the difference? Here it is a
Fe.
draw, fe. Or maybe just same, queen h6 check, king g8. But anyway, I go fe. So what is the difference here? You keep playing this position with the bishop on d7. So itna bhi difference nahi hai. The bishop instead of b5 is on d7. And
Yeah.
things, the
No,
assessment is
rook
changing.
also, no?
Rook to c1 pe hi hai na.
Huh.
The bishop on d7 putting pressure on e6 is changing the whole assessment. It is so difficult.
By the
So
way,
difficult.
he did play there rook c1, queen e5. Magnus found it. So that's something you can expect from the world champion.
Nuber says, yeah, fe6 is the point. Yeah. Yeah.
Lost now. Just queen e6. Because now fe6, if he plays, then white is back in the game with rook e1.
So, Sagar, how do you assess the move bishop d7? How tough would you say it is? Or how would you look at it?
Once you have time and you see that here black is just better with two extra pawns or what, three, then you start to think that maybe it's all about attack. And if there is has to be attack, then I have to be there and I have to get my pieces into the game. So yeah, I think it was about assessing this line, but
Yeah.
it was not easy at all. Not at all easy.
What tough tha mujhe to ye. Like, also because it is not an obvious difference after bishop d7. That is the main point here. Beautiful learning.
Yeah.
ठीक है. Got it. What about Pragnananda is winning
Yeah,
here.
he's better.
What about Vidit? Is he? Oh, he's in trouble.
Yeah, he's lost.
Vidit is having a bad day
against
today,
Eric Hansen, drew a winning position against Mamedyarov, and now has a lost position against Jordan.
And then today is a tough day. Then Nuber
Yeah.
says it is difficult to find such a move online, especially rapid chess. So that is with its game here. Materially actually it is equal. So it is only if white messes up. But 95 is very strong. And what do you do? Because you can take here and want something. So I would say I still want to have a look at Hare Krishna versus Magnus because it's clearly bad, but still
3 points down, Amruta.
yeah, and the king is getting out to g7.
Yeah.
That is the main point.
And the
Koi
king is safe.
compensation.
Like for
Yeah.
example,
So this was the difference. Agar when bishop is on d7, black was forced to take with the pawn on fe6. Correct. True.
that's a huge difference actually. So
अभी analyze करेंगे again, like just to see that. So bishop d7 was the best move, guys, because of the rook c7,
No, rook
f5.
c1.
नहीं, rook c7, f5. Now you take, और इधर ये मारा direct. fe मारा. You are forced to take with this pawn.
Rook e1.
And rook e1. So there is another attack here. So you win this pawn. Bishop takes e6. So you are now 2 pawns down. But let's say if I go move like king
d4.
King g7 would be lost. Dead lost. Queen d4 check and you lose the rook. So this would be a blunder. And your king is still in a dangerous situation. कैसे आएगा बाहर? Because if king cannot come here,
Queen
the rook
c5
cannot
check.
develop. Queen c5 check, king h1.
King d7.
Now you stopped queen d4 for a while. But there is queen b2
d4,
check.
d4.
And then there is queen. So at least I'm recovering 2 pawns like this.
Yeah.
And then for 1 pawn, there is good enough compensation. At least this stays complicated. Now slowly you are understanding. I mean, it was very deep. I wouldn't say it was possible to find this at all. So, but otherwise it was a great position. Yeah, from c3. The whole analysis is from c3. Let's check out the final moments of Pragnananda's game. Knight e4. Knight e4, knight d4.
Yeah.
Okay. So materially you are exchange up and a pawn up. Black is exchange up and pawn up.
No, he's
So
giving
he's
up another.
yeah, another piece. After knight g5, how do you defend here? The mate.
Knight g5, yeah.
Yeah, knight g5. Oops.
Oh, maybe knight f3 check.
Mm-hmm.
If pawn
Suppose I
takes queen
take.
d4 check, exchanges the queen.
And there is a forced exchange. Takes.
And yeah, that's the point. I think.
That's a nice
Knight
move.
f3.
Knight f3 is important.
Oh.
That's the only move.
Wow.
Otherwise, you will be checkmated. Okay. Of course, Pragnanda is going to find it. Zero doubt. Arey haan.
Wow, what a nice move. Look at Pragg's face there. Pragg is like, I've seen it. I've seen the tactic. And I think it's time for him to resign because knight takes f3. He's already exchanged down. Queen h4. And
No, knight f3 ko bishop f3, Sagar. Because your queen is hanging, so you have to take. And after I take, whichever piece you take, this will also be hanging.
yeah. Also, if you take with another piece, then there is queen d4 check. This was the key point.
This was a nice one. You forced
Exchanging the
exchange.
queens. He takes with the rook, but now again queen d4 check, only move. He will find it, plays it, takes it, takes it. Bishop e3. Does Vidit have any chance against? No. Actually, there is a passer here, and also the king is very weak. So rook g3. Look at this finish, Amruta. Rook g3, rook f6, rook g6, and now this very stunning move, queen f6. You can't take the queen; it's pinned. And if you take here, I take f takes g3. Next move, queen e7. You can't play king f8 because of queen h8 mate. So I'm going queen e7, d7, d8 queen.
Nice.
What happened, by the way? Queen d4, queen takes, bishop e3, bishop takes f3.
फिर भी गेम थोड़ा लंबा चल रहा है मतलब
These two exchanges up.
Okay, in Hari's game, is there any chance for him? Or
Hari has
Magnus-
recovered one pawn, but he's still 2 pawns down. So By the way, Wei, who was better, now it's equal. Mamediyarov has fought back like always. And Anish Giri is playing really well against Eric Hansen. So Anish Giri seems to be uh,
Oh, this knight is better than the bishop right now. Yeah, because of this pawn on d5, typically. Only thing is b4. आएगा तब. That's the thing, yeah. So what do you, who's to play? Black, white to play, right? अभी तो ये hanging है. You have to decide whether you want to take. I don't think you would like to take. You would like one rook to defend. So maybe rook c1 would be a blunder. There was knight b3. Rook takes, he went a5. Yeah, he couldn't play b4 because there was knight a4. So now his threat is b4. You can stop b4, but can you go rook e1 here?
yeah, maybe.
Rook e1 को b4 आएगा. Then, oh, knight b3 was never a problem. Rook c1 was possible. Anish का काफी strategic position है. It will be a very nice.
He'll win this.
Again, he'll need some good technique.
Because
Yeah.
knight is better than the bishop. Also, the king side is broken. Meanwhile, Pragg is converting this quite easily. And Magnus is also converting it quite well, his game against Hari. And Jordan also finds this beautiful move. I think Jordan just appreciates beauty in chess and he is able to find these ideas.
Generally, when Jordan is in a better position, he is able to convert, right?
Yeah, he has good conversion
He's more
skills.
solid. Yeah.
And you can see how Gawain Jones on the bottom left is very sad there.
Yeah, baap re, itna sad.
Yeah.
I think he really, really wanted to beat Pragnanda.
Yeah, I mean, he lost without a fight almost because from the opening he blundered.
काफी दुखी है.
By the way, Sam Shankland is winning his game against Abhimanyu Mishra. Look at Jordan, right? Such focus, such intensity.
He does look like that Twilight hero. है ना?
Little bit. Yeah, anyway, he looks very much like a actor, very smart. By the way, Hari Krishna seems to have, fought back a bit.
Pragg won. That's the news coming in.
Yeah, Pragg won here. Last move was g5 when Gawain Jones had enough, so he resigned. And every time, Pragg's game gets over, his camera freezes. He's just shut it off immediately. He shuts it off immediately. Amruta, are there any chances for Hari?
With this queen and knight like this, very difficult.
But he's now only one pawn down.
That's okay, but the king, white king, I mean, you just need that black rook to come on any of the back rank. But all the squares are controlled. Look, e8 is controlled. d8 पे pawn है, d5 पे pawn है.
Yeah.
c8, a8, b8.
Also, the queen can't really go anywhere else because rook takes f7 might hang.
But black has defended f7. D pawn must keep going. So king g1 को d4 right now. d4 खेला तो you have bishop c4 where you increase more pressure on f7.
h5.
He goes h5. Nice. h4 पे खेल के block कर दो.
Do you think rook d8 with the idea of pushing this pawn?
Those are the two plans. I think that's the only plan right now. Because you can't get the rook out.
I think one of the ideas of rook e7 is to play bishop e8. So like if you go here, then maybe...
Ooh, bishop e8. You don't have rook f8 then. So, but...
I don't know. Maybe just rook takes e8 is enough because check.
King f2.
somehow.
काफी कैलकुलेट करना पड़ेगा.
Yeah, not easy.
नहीं,
So
बट
also,
अदरवाइज
Amruta,
अगर
time,
रुके फिट पे
time,
तो आई.
Magnus time, 20
20
seconds.
seconds. अरे ये
20
तो
seconds.
इंटरेस्टिंग हो सकता है. It's possible. But Sagar, even if in this situation, if you go d4, what I'm not understanding is bishop c4 खेला या e8 खेला. रुके फिट पे तो defending everything
Yeah,
ना.
but
You don't have
also
to worry.
you can start pushing your pawn.
That is the counterplay. A pawn. A pawn is a good counterplay.
He
So
goes-
h4 is good.
Oh, he offers a queen trade.
Because-
By the way, he offers a queen
He
trade.
stops queen c1, Sagar. Otherwise, the threat was mate. Queen c1.
Yeah.
You cannot go king h2, queen h1 mate after defense.
So queen c7. Oh, he takes the queen. Rook takes queen. King f6. And now maybe Hari Krishna has good drawing chances with a4.
Arey, this rook pawn against the knight.
If I
Definitely counterplay. Wow.
If I push, Hari push.
Amazing in time pressure. This is. Couldn't believe it could go so wrong for black.
If Hari is able to hold this, that would be great because he has not lost today. Yeah, right. He's been very solid with 2 draws.
No, but if I खेलो ना, why is he thinking? Why is he thinking? It was such a natural move.
He
If
plays
I.
bishop here, rook b8, and now Amruta
Now
bishop
if I
b7.
will-
Bishop b7.
अच्छा.
Block it.
But knight c5 आएगा ना सागर. Bishop b नहीं, knight d6 आएगा.
Can I take?
सागर knight c6 को rook c6.
Oh, by the way, what happens if I take
Mate.
mate here and mate like this?
अच्छा back rank mate नहीं हुआ.
Oh, what happened? By the way, he played rook. Oh, he took f7, and he went into this position.
Oh, fortress.
Yeah, and
Is it a fortress?
Hari Krishna has a fortress on the board. Wow, great defense by Hari.
Oh, this was amazing. Amazing. Really. Wow.
He's bringing his
Too
king
good,
in.
man.
No, wait. He's bringing his king
नहीं
in.
कुछ नहीं होगा. कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता. कुछ नहीं. It's very quick, yeah. What hurry? Zugzwang कैसे?
If you move the bishop, you lose this pawn. Otherwise, your g2 pawn would
नहीं
be.
bishop.
So he
ठीक है.
gave up this pawn. And he's saying that this is still a fortress. Wow. Hari Krishna has this face like Magnus. If you can find a way to break through this fortress, try. But Magnus also on his face, I think the look is like that of doubt. I don't think he believes that he can break.
कितना फटाफट वो rook f7 वाला देखा. I mean, there were so many other
Yeah.
ideas, but this was the simplest in that sense.
Draw?
Oh, हो गया draw लग रहा
Draw?
है. हाँ.
Did they draw already?
Yeah.
Because Hari was shaking his head.
Yeah,
I think
they
it's a
do,
draw.
they do.
Oh, draw.
क्या बात है man, amazing Hari, what a defense.
Hari OP guys, well done
Too
by Hari
good.
Krishna. And I think Magnus has a really off day because I mean from this position where you are 3 pawns up, then 2, but also now his pieces have coordinated really well. It seemed like Magnus would win it at any point, but maybe the right way to go about it was to not bring the knight here.
Even if you go with the knight there, it is still okay, I think. You have to start pushing the d pawn at some point because that's your
I mean, just
like
rook
that's the
f8 also
rook
would
will
have-
always go to f8 and start pushing the d pawn.
Yeah, I think Hari's defense here was
h5
really...
h4 was not required. Okay, that was the whole slow button. इधर भी क्यों exchange किया? Like why would you exchange?
Yeah, check and rook f8 maybe. But the moment he took, I think Hari then defended it really well. Like
Rook
this.
f7 was quick. Tell me one thing, Sagar, bishop e7, what you were seeing, suppose, in this game. That
Yeah,
is
but if
also
you go
fine.
knight
Knight
c5,
D-
then I'll take. And now there's no mate, no anymore.
So ये भी draw है, मतलब सब कुछ draw ही था.
Amazing. Well played by Hari. And
Nice.
meanwhile, Vidit has lost his game to Jordan. Shankland is winning his game with Abhimanyu. And
endgame master OP, endgame master Hari OP.
Yeah.
क्या बात है? So is this going to be the last round now?
yes, you can take rest.
No, I'm good. You can take rest. 15 minutes.
I'm also good.
I mean, you're not bad. You're gonna take rest.
By the way, Anish won. Anish won his game with
Yeah,
Eric.
how did he convert from that position, Sagar? I would really want to just have a look at it. Really, you can take some rest. Rook e1, king g2, queen f5. बस क्वीन इधर आके रिजाइन किया क्योंकि बिशप इज हैंगिंग वो रुक इज डबल Nubair says Anish is equal to legend.
What about Wei? Let's get him.
VD
on this.
camera on. Maybe we can remove the players, no? Yeah. What are the standings?
Yeah, just after this game, I think this is the leader of the tournament. By the way, guys, he's Wei, and he's playing against Mohamed Diaro.
How old is Wei now? Same as
Actually-
Vidit, maybe. Actually, Vidit's his group, if you remember in World Junior.
Yes, but I think he's 96 born, if I'm not mistaken. Draw.
Arshad84 asks, Sagar sir, is it possible to start chess as a career at the age of 20? I have been playing it for a year and know openings, tactics, and read some books, and I am willing to work very hard if given a chance. Is it good?
Yeah, you have your chance. I mean, who is there to give you a chance or not to give you a chance? You can play tournaments, you can prepare on your own, and it's always possible if you try. But yeah, it depends. By the way, Amruta, look at these standings now. Wei is still leading with 15 points.
But Anish has moved
Anish
to
number
13.
And Pragg
Wow.
number 3.
Acha.
Magnus number 4. Anton Guyaro, who's actually very quietly climbing up the ladder. The youngster from Spain. He beat today Aryan Tari and drew 2 games with Anish and Grandelius. And now it's Anton versus Pragg. Next round. Ding is on 11. Jordan is on 10. Sam is on 10. Hari 8.
Oh, Hari is in 9th place
Yeah.
with 8 points.
Grandelius 8. Mohamed Diaro 8. We have Eric Hansen 7. Abhimanyu Mishra 6. Vidit 5. Aryan Tari 4. And Gawain Jones 2. Vidit will face Abhimanyu Mishra now. That will be a very interesting game, Amruta, to follow between Vidit and Abhimanyu.
Okay.
And
What about
Hari
Pragg?
Krishna
Hari Krishna.
will face Gawain Jones,
Hmm.
and Magnus Carlsen will face Sam Shackle.
And Pragnananda.
Yeah, we saw, no? Anton Guyaro.
Acha. Way is 23. Nubair says. Acha. 22 most.
23. Yeah, he's
23,
98
something
born,
like
I
that.
think. Yeah, he's 98 born.
Bhushan Barve asks, hi Amruta and Sagar, at what online chess or Lee chess rating should we consider participating in rated tournament?
Yeah, I think 1200, like sort of that rating, 12 to 1500, you can already think of playing, because even if you don't get your rating, you will learn a lot of things. You will learn what serious tournament is like, thinking for long games is like. So I think it's overall a very positive thing anyway to take part. It will just open up your horizons.
He's 99 born, Nuber said.
January.
We. But Ash, Pragnanda versus Magnus was
Yeah,
a lot
that
of
was a
fun.
highlight.
That was a second time Pragnanda has beaten Magnus Carlsen. It was amazing.
So the next game will start in 10 minutes and I'll be back in
Yes.
10 minutes and we'll begin.
Okay. Until that time, I think we were discussing how do you guys prepare before your tournament.
So if
What
you
do you
if
do?
you want to prepare well, then this is the way in which you prepare.
How do I get back?
Chessbase 16 is a powerful software where you can save your games and analyze them. You can also create databases and manage them. It's a powerful tool for any serious chess player and is used by all the top grandmasters in the world of chess, be it Carlsen, Anand, or any other tournament player. The best database that works along with Chessbase 16 is Mega Database 2022. The database opens inside of Chessbase and has over 9.2 million games, with over 100,000 of them being analyzed and annotated by top grandmasters across the world. The biggest advantage of this database is that you can search any position and get to know who has played it before with the reference feature. You can also prepare professionally against your next opponent, which will help you to gain precious rating points in your next tournament. Get the Chessbase 16 and Mega Database now. Link is in the description.
So it's the first link in the description, guys. This one, what you saw right now. One second. Yeah, so I had asked you how do you guys prepare, because many of you are having books which you kind of seriously solve. That is one thing. When you play online tournaments and when you play over the board, it's very different. When we met a lot of people who come to the club, the blunders are different. We were discussing many times. It's because the board size is actually large. Whereas when your online screen, the size of the board when you're playing is pretty small. Of course, unless you're playing on a very large monitor, that's different. But again, I'm not sure. Maybe Nuber is the best person to also say. Nuber, does it happen that the board, if you're playing on a huge monitor and the board size is huge, do you lose some seconds if you're playing on long diagonals? What is your opinion on that? Because that's what I think does affect if the monitor is huge. So that is not really. Is it for this question? Because bullet too you can't play, right, with such a large board. I think for bullet too definitely it is better. People who are playing seriously, I mean rapid and all is fine. But when you are under time pressure and playing under 10 seconds, does it really affect? So that was one thing where the common blunders with long diagonals was interesting initially in the club. So for that reason, I would say that solve some positions on the actual chessboard, not only online. Like offline practice is very important if you want to play tournaments. So Nuber says as long as one is fast with a good mouse for 15.6 screen, it's manageable. Yeah, so I think what happened was recently Sagar's screen is 27 inches. And that was so huge for the chessboard. So that is my opinion, that it does slightly impact under time pressure. But what you should do is solve a lot of positions offline, play some 2-3 games, and now I think you also know how to prepare against your opponent. Sagar has shown you a number of times on Chessbase how to prepare. You can put a name and check if there are games. And if you don't find his games, then you know what you play. Let's say you are an e4 player, you can expect the most common openings, e4, e5, and then you can check your Italian, some games. So these are all the possibility. But traveling for tournament is a lot of fun, and those people who generally think कि अरे मैं बहुत prepare करूँगा and खेलूँगा, I think you guys would be definitely missing out on a lot of things, because the stress and the pressure you get while playing the game, it is so important for your improvement. It is really important, and it helps to understand the reality, and then when you prepare, it is much more helpful. So definitely play. Amruta and Sagar, when did you use ChessBase first time? Oh, that's a nice question, Nubair. I think, oh, it was so. Earlier there were no laptops though. Earlier we didn't have laptops, so we would have all the notes in the books and all, as I remember. Then, in my case, I think we got a second-hand laptop for the first time for Prathamesh, and maybe I got. Maybe under when I was under 18, yeah, it was pretty late, under 18 or something like that. After that, I mean, when you get a laptop, the first thing is you get ChessBase, because it doesn't make sense to have a laptop because you're going to prepare on ChessBase. So it was like that. Acha, that way you started from ChessBase 9. I think ChessBase 7, ChessBase 7. I love ChessBase 7. Is there any age limit for participation for OTB tournaments? No, generally the limits, yes, for nationals there is under 10, under 12, that way, but you will also have national open, national seniors, national amateurs, all of those tournaments happen, which are actually national tournaments. Then there are other tournaments which are rating tournaments where it doesn't matter, age doesn't matter, it's all about your rating. It's about 2000, below 2000, above 1600, below 1600, those kind of events. So you can check it out. Really, a lot of tournaments are upcoming, and I think it's because it's the month of May and June, a little bit more relaxed. Even for those who work, I think that would be like the environment. So for chess, it's super high time, May, June, lot of tournaments. Earlier in the month of May, there used to be, for one whole month in Sangli, there used to be tournaments back to back. Pehla ye, fir ye. So everybody for 1 month would be staying in Sangli. that was that was a lot of fun. There used to be a school. वो स्कूल में सारे बेंचेस एक के ऊपर एक डाल के रखे रहते थे. नीचे it was a floor. गद्दी डालो and गद्दी भाड़े पे लो. And Sangli's thali was so good. Oh my god. So it was a lot of fun. I'm sure, guys, you'll be able to make great memories, find a lot of friends, and chess tournaments are more than chess tournaments in all the respects. Are the annotations in the database as helpful as GM explaining his image? Sachin asked. Sachin, actually, there are a lot of annotations if you see like Magnus has played the game and he himself has annotated, it's very good to see that. That is for sure, because you get to know their own thoughts. So you'll find a lot of Vishy's games as well, and I'm sure they are very important because so many moments they have written that I have found this novelty, and they have explained certain situations, which takes your understanding of the game closer because you understand the psychology. So try to see the games, their own games, which are annotated by themselves. That would be a good idea. Yeah, Nubair, Sangli days are definitely missing. No, Pune, we have not planned anything yet, but it will all be spontaneously, whatever, how things work out. By the way, 1 minute to go. Let me just get the board and the players online. Round number 8, Abhimanyu Mishra, Vidit Gujarati. Moment. So there is Abhimanyu versus Vidit and Magnus versus Anish versus Mamed Arrow we have in this round. Pragnananda versus David. Can't find David. Oh. Okay, here we are. I think we've got all the players. I'm gonna ask Sagar to join us. So Chris asked each version upgrade more games or same games, just recent ones replacing the older games. No, new games, yeah, there are new games upgrade. Okay, what is the minimum rating? Minimum rating, it depends on the tournament. You can check out the calendar as I have said. Tanay Bhagat says Bhausaheb Padsalgikar sir from Sangli. Yes, he did so much for chess. I mean, really amazing. It was. Oh, the games are not starting. Let me. But it's already 12:33, right? Is there any game which is going on or what? No.
Start now.
Started. All games on. Started already. Oh shit! I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
Auto update.
You have everyone here.
Hmm.
Okay, so with it playing with the white pieces opens with d4, d5, c4, c6. We had the Slav on the board. He's playing the youngest GM in the world of chess. Bishop d3 takes, knight d7, castles, bishop d6, queen c2, e4, e5, bishop to e3. And this, I think, we saw Pragnananda playing without developing his bishop to c3 in one of the his knight to c3. One of the advantages is that now bishop g5, queen c7, you are able to put your knight on d2. Here knight c3, but there are variations. So this is, I saw this in Pragg versus whose game?
Was it in this same tournament?
No, not this.
No, yeah,
Previous one.
Oh, I didn't get him.
Yeah. So knight f4, Abhimanyu still in his prep. Vidit trying to, I think Vidit might be a little bit low on confidence right now after his, and Abhimanyu just blitzing through his moves.
It would be some pressure, no, to anyway for all the players to play against Abhimanyu, who is just 13 and
No, I think, yeah, of course, some, but they know he's a grandmaster, he's a good player.
yeah.
And I think
This
now,
is I like this position because there are so many interesting ideas for white to attack with the knight going to f5 maybe in the future, f4, e5. These are some interesting positions. But the knight on f4 Sagar stops all these ideas with f4 and you can't even kick it away. So
yeah, but once you get knight f5, maybe you have things working for you.
So right now black should stop knight f5 in this game. Knight f6 maybe he'll go. So for knight f5 bishop f5 hai. Correct? Or b4.
Maybe
b4 and knight f6 are the two moves.
But then king h1 is a nice move. Also b4, yeah, b4 looks like the right move to play.
ठीक है.
We have
What's up with
we have first of all Pragnananda, who has gone e4. He is playing today the d3 system. Everyone's playing that against him. So a lot like Italian on the board. And David Anton has a nice position there. Magnus is smiling somehow, very relaxed. He's smiling. I don't know why. Meanwhile, Anish Giri and Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. Anish has a nice edge out of the opening. What about Hari Krishna? Hari playing against Gawain Jones. It is the Rui Lopez. The Archangels variation. So all seems like prep. And Hari has 15 minutes. Gawain Jones only 12. So this is already a dangerous position to be in, that you are out of your prep right out of the opening. Vidit, meanwhile, his opponent has played b4. I think Abhimanyu took his time for that move, but he's found the right move. He plays b4, and now Vidit can really start with knight f5. That could be a very powerful move here. Knight f5. If b takes c3, then there is knight takes d6 or rook takes d6 with a clearly winning position. But knight f5, I think bishop e5 is possible. So very interesting position here. Top left with it, taking on Abhimanyu Mishra, the youngest GM in the world of chess. Magnus Carlsen is playing against Samuel Shankland, and Magnus seems to be Well, the position is around equal. Here, Anish is slightly better for sure against Shakriyar. And Wei Yi taking on Jordan, who's just beaten with it. What about Pragg? Wow, David Anton playing really gaining space, pushing his pawn to d5, getting his. Black has done everything that would be like a dream-like scenario for him. He's got his knight from c6 to e7 to g6. He also has this kind of Marozzi structure. But okay, it's an interesting position. Pragg can get his bishop on this diagonal. He can also swing his knight over to e4. So it's still a fighting position, of course. It's not like black has an advantage. It's around equal. And with it taking his time here, Vidit in this tournament has had 5 draws and 2 losses. Needs badly couple of wins if he has to qualify. Also, Amruta, if you look at it, Vidit is yet to play Carlsen. He is yet to play Anish. So
it's going to be.
And Pragg. These are his 3 opponents for tomorrow, I think.
Achha.
Pragg, Carlsen, and Anish. So all tough opponents for him. And no, I think there is still one. No, there is only 8th round, no?
I don't know.
Yeah. There are 7 more rounds to go. Okay, so it's. I was thinking tomorrow is like the final day for the qualifiers. No.
So b4 ko, do you go knight a4 or do you go knight b1?
Knight f5 maybe. He plays it.
Bishop e5 खेलना पड़ेगा अभी.
Kind of forced, but also Amruta, look at this sacrifice. Check.
What?
You must take.
Okay.
Take.
I'll take with the pawn. Then you will have g6. Not really.
No.
If g3.
If you take here, then I'll take here. And if you take here, I'll still take here.
Okay.
So I've
basically you've just recovered the piece again.
So knight h3 actually is a very interesting move that Abhimanyu can play. Also bishop e5 is a good move.
Oh, knight h3 is nice.
Yeah.
But knight h3, then will it not give black some advantage because the king side is becoming weak, right, for white?
But at the same time, the queen side becomes weak for black. So like if you do this, take here, and queen takes c3, this pawn is slightly weak. So.
Okay, I'll go knight e5 for now, attacking your h3. But
Asim says, Sagar, why do we have chess club meetup tomorrow? Yes, Asim, of course. We have. And I'm banking on you to help me do live commentary from there. Knight h3 for Anand's game. Takes. He has played it, knight h3.
He played it, yeah? How is it? How is the calculation like? I mean, the expressions like.
Very intense.
No, this is calculating. It's intense. True.
Yeah, very intense. Meanwhile, Magnus seems to have got a very nice position against Shankland. What about Hari Krishna? Hari just drew with Magnus and now he is facing Gawain Jones. And he got a very nice edge out of the opening. But more than anything else, he also has a time lead. Bishop e3, nice move.
Actually, Hari is already on 9th position. And if he is able to beat Gawain Jones, because Gawain Jones is not in his best form right now. So then Hari really has a good chance to be top 8.
For sure. Also, this last move is typical Hari Krishna move. See, if you take here, I take here. If you take here, I take here. And if you take here, I take here. And then in this endgame, I have complete control of the open files, better bishop. So,
What would have happened if Hari versus Tal would have played? Tal would all the time be avoiding queen exchange. Hari would all the time challenging the
Yeah.
queen. Nice. Okay. So all these exchanges help Hari for sure. So bishop e3, Cook Avengers anyway have to exchange. At least that is forced. Bishop e3, rook e3 is
No,
forced.
he first played knight e5. So Hari took the queen and took on a7.
So double bishop advantage तो है ही इधर.
But now knight d3. It is
You
getting
can go
sharp.
rook e7
It is
or
getting
no,
sharp.
rook e2.
No, because rook e2,
Rook e2.
knight f4. And then g2 pe pressure, no. Like knight e3.
Yeah. I can't go rook e2. 1 second. It's a serious question. What do you do? Rook
Rook
e7
e7.
I think is a better idea. Now if you go knight b2, rook c7. Rook c7.
Yeah,
No?
possible.
Bishop a8 or d5, whatever.
Yeah, should
This
be
is fine
should
because
be fine.
a6 is weak, really weak.
But also, Amruta, there was another way to play here, rook e7. Because knight c4,
No,
I'll
rook
take.
b1. You mean?
Yeah, rook b1. Sorry.
Oh,
If knight d3, I have c4. Just trying to play against this bishop. It's also a possible idea and very difficult to play that way.
हाँ तो नहीं naturally देखते हैं naturally rook c7 is easier to play and maintain the advantage. ठीक है, so Hari has
First of all,
advantage.
knight d3 will be played or not, we'll see. Pragg, on the other hand, seems to have a normal position.
Yeah, this is a quite opening position like वैसा ही है. ठीक है, विदित वर्सेस अभिमन्यु का देखते हैं. So this queen exchange firstly favors whom is the question, because I can see you can play queen takes c5, knight takes c5 and f4 is the first idea which comes to the mind. And where is the knight going to go? I know h3 is hanging, but right now maybe not the best idea, right? Takes bishop f1. And then you go rook e8 and you recover the e5 pawn. Maybe that's why bishop h3 actually can be considered.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, playing
Interesting.
f4 might not be the most accurate.
But
Also
then
taking the queen.
Then taking the queen doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
Why not we go rook here c1 or rook d3? Just
Yeah, I like
holding
rook c1. Rook d3 के लिए I will consider later bishop a6 idea, so I don't want to be on d3. So rook c1 looks fine. Or
might hang, so.
just move your queen, na? Can you do that?
Sorry?
Just move your queen away. Oh, he took.
He took, and now
Oh,
I think
so now Abhimanyu has a choice to
challenge
take.
for Abhimanyu. Will he take here, which is clearly the best move? If he does not, Amruta,
Yeah, then where the knight will go?
knight
You have to
g6.
go g6. Then I defend king h2. I think that position should be better for white, right? If you go knight g6, king h2. Because where is your bishop going to go? It can't go to e6. f5 is a problem. Can't go to a6. It can't go to d7. Bishop b7 is the only move.
No, I'll play rook b8 maybe, or I can play a5 with the idea of bishop a6. So yeah, you're right that in this position, white is better. So
at least
clearly
he has the
bishop takes
initiative.
h3 has to be preferred here. Let's see if Abhimanyu does that.
It's important to find.
And look at him, how he's seeing the board. He's just sitting like this and seeing. And let's see if he's able to find it. It's an important moment.
Are those trophies on Abhimanyu's?
Yeah.
And those seem like
Trophies,
certificates which have
certificates.
been framed, yeah?
Yep. Anish drew against Mamedyarov. So Anish
Okay.
stays on the top. Let's see where Pragg goes bishop to d5 here. trying to centralize his bishop. Meanwhile, Hari Krishna here, by the way, his opponent didn't go knight d3, Amruta.
Acha, he went knight c4. So if bishop c4,
But
bc4
it might transpose after rook e7, knight b2.
So white should anyway go rook e7 here, as we discussed. Okay, I want to see Vidit's game for a moment. Or maybe even Pragnanda's game we have
No,
not
it's okay.
seen.
Just wait for this critical moment.
Yeah, I want to see whether he finds bishop h3 or not. Guys, do you think Abhimanyu Mishra is going to find bishop h3?
He will find. I mean, it's not about.
He'll calculate whether he will go for it. I am sure he'll calculate. In fact, all those who are thinking about playing a tournament, this is the position which you should also be calculating right now. Seriously. Bishop takes h3. I'm going to consider it a little bit deeper. Bishop takes h3. If takes e5, bishop takes f1. Bishop takes f1.
Why that rook and why not rook f e8?
Yeah, no, this rook is better, right? Rook f e8. Actually,
now rook d7. And if rook e5, bishop c4. And f7 is under some pressure.
So you need to anyway go rook f8. Instead of that, that is the reason. Oh, wow. Easily rook a8 is actually important.
And
now if I go rook d7, rook e5, and still if I go bishop c4, let's say I want to put pressure here.
Then black has saved a tempo.
Yeah, you've saved a tempo and you start pushing your pawns. Still, the position is 2 pieces for rook with 2 more pawns. Maybe practically easier for black to play.
Yeah.
Yet he will have to be careful, but definitely white has to be accurate. So this is what Vidit's thing is, Vidit's position is. 8 minutes for both of them. Harsh Sethi asks, what is a tempo? When you said that, he says one tempo.
It's usually a move. e7. Rook d2 was actually rook c8 was important here, Amruta, because now after this takes rook b2, bishop b6 might really create some trouble. This is hanging, and the bishop might run out of squares. Actually, this, if you play bishop a8, then after rook a7 you lose this key pawn, and then this pawn is
just
very
rolls down. Wow. But if wherever I go, rook a7 is a problem, no?
Bishop
c8.
But then this is a weak pawn, and also rook e1 with the idea of rook e7.
So in this opposite colored bishop, because white is already putting pressure, he is better.
And you can never put your bishop like nice square because rook a7 and rook a6. So this bishop here is very powerful. So Hari Krishna might win this game.
Wow.
Yeah, clearly better.
Shashank in the chat says, hi Sagar and Amruta, joining after a long time. I was here for 10 minutes before my meeting started and back again after. Hope both of you are well.
Very well, Shashank.
Very well. How are you? What's up?
Bishop e3 played by Pragg. Actually, David Anton is one of those players, Amruta, who is very quiet, very calm, very cool, doesn't talk too much, but gets the work done, and he's one of the leaders of the tournament, playing really good chess, Many people say that he looks a little bit like Fabiano Caruana. You see him on the right of your screen, top right. He's the one there.
And he has been playing very consistently online, right? Online Rapid.
Yeah, sure. Oh, by the way, Abhimanyu didn't play that.
That was a
He played knight g6. Vidit went king h2. So he didn't play bishop
acha.
takes h3 here.
Okay. No, it was again not a very easy, but it was not even very tough. I would say 50-50.
Yeah, but the way he's played, Amruta, after
Knight
f5,
E7 क्यों खेला यार?
nice move, f5. Rook
Because
here, b3. I mean, Vidit is in complete control now because he will put his bishop on c4. If the bishop moves somewhere, then rook may enter. Also f6 on cards. I think Vidit has a very good chance to win, get his
Yeah.
first win.
well, in fact, what I would like is rook G1 and knight H5 ideas as well.
Yeah.
And even this rook comes to D6, वो भी आ रहा है. So
Yeah.
most critical thing is the C8 bishop doesn't have a good square to develop.
Oh, by the way, look at this. How Magnus Carlsen gave up his h2 pawn here. Like, takes, rook h8. He's ready to
बाप रे.
give this h2 pawn.
What? Queen takes H2, king F1, कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा है
There's
क्या? Queen
nothing
H1
happening.
check. Once again, I can just exchange the queens. Queen H5. C6 knight is hanging. My goodness.
Forgot about the other side.
Yeah. Chess is a game of 64 squares, guys.
But can you not just take here, and go back? Should be possible. And now after queen d6, let's see. He's not taken the pawn. Meanwhile, Abhimanyu plays c5. But now rook c1. Putting pressure here.
Oh, how do you save? After rook c1, the pawn is gone, na?
Yeah.
You can't save. But I think black would really suffocating here. So he wants to get some compensation. कुछ देना तो पड़ेगा ही.
Meanwhile, Hari plays bishop to c5. He's attacking the rook.
Over.
Next move, his rook is coming in to d7. Clearly better. While Pragnananda plays knight to d2. I mean, Pragg is having a small spatial disadvantage, but his pieces are finding some good squares.
Yeah, a lot of maneuvers he has to kind of think about.
Yeah.
Pieces, piece placements, and everything. By the way, Guru Kirat says, see you both tomorrow at the club.
Yeah.
Awesome, Guru Kirat. Let's meet all of you. Shashank's season 1 show tomorrow and another in 10 days. I sent you the flyer on Insta. Nice. Oh, you have a live stream. Interesting.
Rook d7, attacking the bishop here, also the f7 pawn. Yeah, I think Gawain Jones might as well resign here. As you can see, he is very, very upset. Hari Krishna with his...
Oh.
I think he had 3 draws today and 1 win.
Yeah, and
So-
he's moving. He will definitely move in top 8.
Yeah.
Great result. By the way, Shreya Khabya says also my son is only 3 years old and he knows the names of all the pieces and gets so excited when I play chess or read Gary Sir's book. Nice. अभिनव गुप्ता से सागर भाई आपके चैनल पे वो रेड कलर का रिंग क्यों नहीं बैन बन के आता लाइव वाला प्लीज चेक विथ योर यूट्यूब इंडिया ओके ग्रेट विल डेफिनेटली ट्राई टू आस्क देम
Yeah.
so rook b5 you are right now predicting a resignation or not yet too soon to say
Yeah, in a couple of moves like rook f7 here. If rook c5, I have rook g7, then I'll take on b7. So yeah, it's all under control. So yeah, totally winning position for Hari. Very good play by the Indian GM. Also, Vidit seems to be winning. So this round pretty much going in India's favor. Also, Pragg is kind of playing solidly against uh, Anton. Let's see how that goes.
अभिनव गुप्ता अमृता मैम ओलंपियाड में क्लिप्स पे क्या आएगा? क्लिप्स तो डेफिनेटली आएगा, पर ओलंपियाड के पहले भी कुछ है, उसमें तो बहुत सारा मजा भी आएगा.
Bishop c4 by Vidit, putting his bishop on a nice square. Just every piece of white so much better than their counterpart.
तो अभी सब कुछ बेस्ट सिचुएशन में लाया गया जाएगा सागर. And then
F6
what
is a
would you
threat.
plan? F6.
Why not? Yeah, f6 takes with the idea of rook doubling and f7 pawn. And
The only thing about f6 what I feel is, do you want to give away that e6 square so that the bishop on c8 is able to, you know, develop on e6?
Yeah.
That's or do you want to still hold and improve the position? If you can,
yeah, first
then
maybe
that's-
improve a little bit more. But with it going after that c5 pawn.
Knight a5 maybe he will go.
Knight b4. है ना?
Yeah, I'll take. You will
Knight
take
a2.
rook a5.
And then yeah.
Wherever you go, I take the pawn. And then with my rook on a7, this is also more pressure anyway. So that's possible. Just having a look at Magnus's game, if anything changed. By the way, Hari Krishna's game, it did continue after rook c5, rook g7 check, king h8 check. It's the typical theme of a... Sir, do you know what is this theme called?
Windmill.
Yeah.
Rook a7, king g8, and maybe now here and then even this pawn. But yeah.
But इतना करके फिर भी...
No, he's winning. I mean, 2 pawns up. Rook d8.
Now take on c5. No?
Take here, you could take here.
If you take on c5, then there is rook d2 check. So he'll... Is he getting any counter play if you take on c5, Sagar? Or is it also fine?
It's fine. This seems good. Also, Amruta, take here, and then rook d1 makes a lot of sense. Then get it with your rook.
Then get this other rook on d5. That looks good. So that's winning. And what happened to Magnus? Yeah, he's clearly winning, yeah. Bishop d3 check.
It has gone into a rook endgame with 2 extra pawns. So Hari will win. Meanwhile, I think a very important game is Pragg versus David Anton. Both players down to last 2 minutes.
They have 2 minutes and such a middle game position, no? To play in 2 minutes. You can say blitz
What about
game like...
take? Yeah, he took here, and now Pragg can get his rook in the center. Getting interesting. c5 pawn under pressure. Also knight d6 coming up. f7 under pressure. b6 would be... b7 would also be... Does Pragg have enough compensation? Queen b5, knight d6. Knight d6. Let's see if Pragg is able to win this. Oh, b4. Maybe knight d6 was what was needed, because queen d7, knight f5, queen c6. Yeah, it's not so simple to see where your play is from, but that's why he goes b4. He wants to win material here. It's not easy now. I think queen c6 has to be found. Oh, not rook d6 is not played. And David Anton down to 2 minutes on the clock. Pragg putting a lot of pressure. Magnus, on the other hand, pretty happy with what's happening there. I mean, position-wise he's happy, but look-wise he's not. Rook d5. With it attacking this pawn once again after trade of rooks. With it is clearly better. So actually, Amruta, this might well be that 3 Indian victories, because Hari Krishna, of course, winning that rook endgame against Gawain Jones.
And if Pragnanda wins,
Pragg
then
is,
how?
Pragg
He'll
is
be
pawned
on...
down.
Acha.
Yeah, but he might well become one of the top 2.
But if he's a pawn down, why is the engine saying he's better?
Because look at this bishop.
Oh, that bishop is as good as a pawn as of now. But then with BC,
Also knight d6 coming in, attacking the queen, and f7 point.
So right now knight d6 ko rook d6 is forced, kya?
No, queen d7 is there.
Queen d7, no good discovered attack.
Knight f5.
Knight f5.
Yeah. It's not so clear. He plays rook d5. And with it chops off the c5 pawn. Now with it is better. He has won a pawn. His pawns are very strong. But he has to keep his concentration in order to win this winning position. Here, Hari is actually just 2 pawns up and he's just pushing clearly.
Yeah, this is very simple for him.
Yeah, this is very, this is just...
So, ठीक है. Hari का तो very clear.
But I think Pragg's game is the most exciting from the perspective of who will win. Because we know that Vidit is clearly better against Abhimanyu. Hari is clearly winning against Gawain Jones. This game, we don't know where it will go.
Yeah.
Who's better, who's going to win. Right now, the threat is to take on c5 and then win back one of your pawns. He goes knight f4.
Oh, so he's giving the pawn, actually e-pawn he's giving as an extra pawn.
Yeah. But he can play Amruta c4 here.
c4 ko queen takes c4?
You take here, then rook d7, attacks the bishop, attacks here. That can
is
get
your threat g3?
very dangerous. Yeah.
No, that's 3.
c4 is very tough to find.
Yeah, c4 is very tough. I mean, with 1 minute, it's not possible.
Almost impossible.
Yeah. C4 is very
Maybe the most natural way to continue is to take on f4, ef4 and rook d1. That's what I think very much possible that Pragg will play. Yeah, he took. Bishop takes. He takes f4 and now rook ed1. Seems natural. Meanwhile, Hari Krishna has won his game against Gawain Jones.
Okay.
So that's a good result for Hari. Excellent result. Abhimanyu trying to activate his pieces there.
Shashank says, I've heard you so many times say when you have a light colored bishop, your pawn should be on the dark squares. That's not the case in VD's game. Is that the rule for bishop only endgames?
No, but I think it also depends a lot. Like the bishop, even if it has one good diagonal, that's good enough. So here that bishop is doing very well. And sometimes these pawns do limit the opponent's bishop also. By the way, Magnus has won his game against Shankland.
Okay.
And
So the most exciting, as you said, for result, it's Pragnananda's game. And
yes.
with 48 seconds, let's have a look at it. How do you now you take on f4, you recover that pawn.
Yeah.
But I think that bishop on a7 is soon going to become so deadly because c4 is going to happen, and then look at this, already laser sharp.
True. That's why Pragg doesn't want to take here.
But then
Because
what?
that
You can't even
allows
stop.
queen e2 and then c4 next.
Rook d8.
Rook
That's why I played
d8.
rook d8. Rook d8 is a nice move. Maybe rook e8 he will go. David will go back.
Because if you take
Huh?
take king h7, I was thinking if there are some sets like this, check,
Rook h6.
and maybe the attack is still quite dangerous.
Or maybe you have max perpetual.
Yes.
So rook d8. 30 seconds for David. I think rook e8 is a natural move. Can you not just play rook e8? Is it a bad move? Oh, it's a bad move.
Forks. He plays queen c6, good move.
But then he always has to be careful. Oh, rook d5 is a... What, c4? You go c4 here?
c4, yeah. Or just rook takes d8, rook takes d8, king h7. Possible.
But I like c4 because my bishop is opened now. And you have to take on f4.
He takes king. David Anton playing beautiful chess. He's now having a clear advantage here. e4 is hanging. What do you do? If you play knight d2, then I'll trade queens and I'll be pawn up.
Simple pawn up. But then you what? Oh, rook d5. Oh, that's the you can't take queen d5. Sorry, I just
Queen d5, knight f6 check, and I win your queen. But c4 is the move that black can play, which is very powerful. Just unleashing everything.
finally c4 is happening. Oh, he played f5. That's a nice move because rook f5 ko you lose a piece. And where do you go with your knight? Knight d2 first.
Yeah.
But this is okay, right? Because if c4 now, you take on f5, you recover. Are you recovering a pawn? No. Rook f5, queen takes f3. And knight takes f3 ko rook e2, I think. Was there a better move than rook f5?
Yeah, maybe king f1 stopping these.
Those ideas. Bapre. That would be tough for
Check.
20 seconds.
Yeah,
Rook
just
e1
first
check.
pushing the king away. Then maybe you can take.
Take and rook e2.
Yeah. Take. If knight takes.
Rook e2. Rook a5.
Or rook c1, Amruta, to take.
Is there a mate bishop f2 with the idea of bishop g3?
But this is hanging, no?
Yeah, right now.
Rook e2 also good move. You are right. This is a massive threat.
Great. So you don't have time for rook a5 maybe.
But if you play bishop f2, I can take rook takes f4. Rook f7, attacking the bishop. Can we not take here? What's the threat? Actually, he plays bishop b6. What was the idea if I took here? Rook f4.
You just take the pawn on f4, okay. Get it. So he plays f4. a4, sorry. Rook f2. तो ठीक नहीं है क्या अभी ना rook f4 should rook f4 is a blunder. Bishop c7 आ रहा है ना अभी. That's why you cannot take.
Yeah.
This is always a threat if you take. So h4 he's trying to go king h3 and then his idea is to take here.
Let's go and check if
c2.
Vidit, what is he doing? Vidit is completely under control.
Yeah, he's winning.
He's winning, yeah, totally. We use rook c2, trying to win this pawn.
Hey, after h5 Sagar, there's a deadly threat. Knight e5, knight g6. And rook f8, rook h8. Oh my god. Can David, get into any sort of such blunder? Why did he play king h3? Could he not have played knight h4 or knight e5?
I think he wants to bring his king up.
Rook d3, rook f4. There is a chance for Pragnanda to draw, I think, because David has to still be on alert.
Yeah, for sure.
c3,
c3,
rook c4 खेल दो अभी.
Holding the pawn.
But king g8 जाएगा ना या नहीं? Rook d5.
Rook d5, rook takes c3, rook h5.
But this is okay. At least you can. No, I want this pawn. You
Why?
need this pawn, no?
Why? You can give it up. I mean, he takes. As you rightly said, Pragg has good drawing chances now. He's just one pawn down. What about with it? He's also clearly.
He is clearly winning. Actually, he's only one pawn up, but with such a huge advantage because of the knight on d5.
Yeah.
Material is very less though. Let's see Pragnanda's games. 1 minute. Bishop d8. But Sagar, the pawn is the same colored square.
Yeah. That will help him.
Hmm.
But this is not the same colored square. So, black has two rook pawns. "13 seconds for Pragg."
So, ठीक है. Do you want to see Vidit ka end? How it is?
No, I think it's fine.
G4. Do you want to go G4? Yeah, I like that. Rook endgame would be draw, right? The same thing without the knight and bishop. This
Yeah.
would have been a draw. So knight h4 check, knight f5 should be okay. But this king is now coming to e6 and oh, why did he go king g3? Actually, his king was good, no? On f4. King e4. You have to play king e4. King e6. This king is, black king is putting a lot of stress here. I don't think even this rook endgame is easy after 94. I don't know. But let's see. He goes 92. I think the idea is to finally kick this rook away from here. Seems like that. But the rook versus rook is draw. He challenges the rook. That's a good move because bishop versus knight has a good chance. Bishop versus knight is a. I don't think you should exchange. The best way to fight even here is to.
No, if you exchange, then that endgame is just totally winning for black.
Correct. But it's exchanged. He's exchanging.
It's just lost. So maybe Pragg will lose this game to David Anton. And although Pragg had not actually, he won 2 games today. Gawain and Magnus, and drew with Hari. So it was a great day for Pragg, but now he'll lose a game. Meanwhile, Vidit seems to win his first game of the tournament. But has to remain careful because many times he has been a piece up, but has made some errors. So actually, what was the trap if I went here? Nothing much, just
So he went king b4. I think he wants to go a5, a6, and then b6. f5, मार दो रुक f5, knight d6, rook e5. Nothing much.
Yeah, knight e6, rook e5.
Or rook f4 also works.
Knight e4, rook e4.
Rook
And
endgame
if
is
rook
winning,
d5,
yeah?
king a5, king a6. Or rook e7 just.
Hmm.
2 pawns up with it will convert this. Meanwhile, Pragg is losing because the h pawn is super strong. So yeah, that way needs a miracle to save.
ये मतलब जो रुक पॉन वर्सेस नाइट है, that is so much happening, right, in games again and again and again, unlike Lucena, which happens मुझे लगा था सागर के मुंह पे स्माइल आएगी नहीं क्योंकि उसको जो कभी समझेगा नहीं, but
a6.
guys, he smiled, he's awake.
a6, bishop d6, right?
a6, bishop a6, king b5, bishop a7, king c6 कुछ नहीं है. पहले ठीक है, he's going to resign, I think, soon now. This is very difficult. Knight
Bishop a7, and you see how the bishop stops this pawn, also stops the knight from stopping the h pawn. So the bishop doing multitasking.
तुम्हारे जैसा.
If I king g3. King d3, king
h3.
no, why not king g3 just?
But h3 मतलब you can't stop the pawn ना anyway. h2 अभी तो क्या resign ही करेगा. Look at Pragg, he's not happy. I think he resigned. Yeah, he resigned. Pragnanda has lost this game. I think real kudos to David.
Yeah,
the way
David,
he
well
played
played.
was amazing.
Very well played.
Amazing.
Excellent play by him, and with it,
With it did win, but
yes, winning.
overall he's
He
not
won,
very
he won.
happy about the day, I think.
He won. He won.
Yes.
So the results are out, all of them actually.
Let's have a look at standings one time before we.
Yeah, before we end today. So these are the standings.
Space 16 is a powerful software where you can.
These are the standings.
Wei is leading with 18 points, 3 points ahead of David Anton Gujaro and Magnus Carlsen. So Magnus कुछ तो करके आ ही जाता है ऊपर, है ना. Anish Giri on 14, Pragnananda on 12, on 5th place. Ding Liren on 12 as well, and Hari Krishna is on 11 on 7th place. Sagar, Hari Krishna has reached the top 8, which is a very good news for us. Van Forest, Sam Shanklin on 10 points, Mohamed Arrow, Niels, Eric Hansen on 9 points. Sorry, Niels on 8 points, Eric and Vidit on 8 points. Abhimanyu on 6, and Aryan Tari. Aryan Tari is not having a very good tournament actually.
Yeah.
And
Also Gawain Jones.
Gawain Jones. Right.
So these are the standings, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with Vichy in Poland with our 3 players, Indian players in the Champions Chess Tour, and also the Chess Base India Chess Club tomorrow. So a lot of action, guys. Stay tuned. Bye bye. Good night.